What kind of relationship? I was no longer comfortable with it. It's not working. During my NYC, because I served during Corona, he called me, he wanted to start a business. I'm like, okay, let's do like this. Let me send you 20K. I sent him 20K out of my life. We're collecting 33. Till today, he doesn't have a job. He doesn't even know what he wants to do. So boom, he just started chatting me up now and saying, let's start something. Don't worry, I'll soon rent house. By this time of the day.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome to the
Darkpore show,
the hottest podcast in the land. All right. And if you are yet to subscribe, you know what we have now.
Yeah.
We hate you if you are yet to subscribe. So if you want us to like you,
like us.
you like us exactly, and you subscribe and you join the show. All right. So I have wonderful people today. Every single woman on this show today, every single lady on this show today, is yet to be taken. Is anybody married here? Okay, so that's a good thing. So I'm not talking. You're not engaged. Is anybody engaged here?
No. Not true.
Okay. All right. So you can find them. All right. Their Instagram handles will display on the screen when they're talking, and you can find them. All right. So we're making it easy for you guys to find them. All right. So you're welcome to the show, the Darkpore Show. It's a show where we help young people start new things, start new careers, start new relationships, and start new families, by helping them remove the barriers that stand in their way. So that's what we're doing. Today we'll be reacting to a particular video, and we're going into the world of banking. We're helping our sisters in banking.
video article.
I'm used to saying video. Today we'll be reacting to a particular article. It's an article by eFinancial Careers, okay, and it talks about women in banking and the challenges that they face. But before we jump into the article, let's just do like quick introductions.
Okay. Hi, my name is Chinota. My Instagram handle is chi.lota, and I love watching movies for fun.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Rita. My Instagram handle is Rita_Luatosin, and I love cooking for fun. It helps me ease off stress, actually.
Okay. So.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Akomolafe Abisola. Instagram, Akomolafe Abisola. I'm a teacher. I'm an educator.
Okay.
Oh, it's going to educate us today.
Yo!
Okay. You have 15 seconds.
Okay. My name is Iyanoluwa. IGI_remain_Mia. Calm down, Okay, I rap for fun. I watch movies for fun. I read documentaries for fun. Blah blah blah.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Antonia. I am a student of University of Lagos in my final year. My Instagram handle is Tonia with _I_X. I read for fun actually. I enjoy reading. Yeah.
Okay, hi guys. My name is Abisola Nimashao. Yes, my Instagram handle is abisolanimashao.3. Then I love watching movies for fun. Yeah. And I'm a student of Poji College of Health.
Yeah, hi guys. I'm Zainab. My Instagram handle Zayfash. I love cooking, and I love sewing. Yeah, that's my hobby. That's why.
Okay, hi everyone. I'm Grace Obasomi. Instagram handles Grace Obasomi. You can see Grace Yuzo. And Facebook Obasomi Grace. So what do? I'm a word artist, a fashion designer. I make what I put in on. And I forgot to say. I do a lot of things, so I just won't stop there for now.
The last lady here.
All right, hi everyone. My name is Oluwatobiloba. I'm a banker and I love to spend money for fun.
All right, I hope it's your money you like spending.
No.
Silicon Valley Bank says hi.
Okay, gentlemen.
Okay. Hi. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Stephen Imade. My Instagram handle is Stephen Imade. I'm an entrepreneur.
Hi. Good afternoon, everyone. So my name is Egene Joshua.
From Delta
Instagram
State.
handle again, Josh from Kogi State actually. Pan Nigeria. Born in Kano, brought up in Lagos. State of origin Kogi State, so
Where's
Pan
Ogene
Nigeria.
coming from?
And again is Kogi actually. And I currently work with one of the FMCGs in Nigeria as a GTM supervisor.
OG.
Yes, now the usual suspects. So we have the usual suspects in the studio. In-house troll.
Okay, good afternoon. Good afternoon. My name is Oji actually.
We know.
I think Oji is okay. You don't know what I do now.
We don't know what
I tell the podcast for a living.
You attend.
Yeah,
Okay,
professional
now I
podcast
understand.
attender.
So my name is Agogo. I'm not on Instagram, but you can catch me on Twitter at Governor General. And, I am an aspiring politician and a writer.
Oh my God, politician.
2027.
I thought as much.
All right, so that's everybody. I'm Ade Falami Agombiade. My Instagram handle will be displayed on the screen. All right, so let's jump right in. Today's show, we're looking at challenges facing female bankers. All right, we're reviewing a particular article. It's efinancialcareers.com. Can we go to the page?
Yeah.
Okay, so the article we're reviewing says that banks are full of beautiful, successful women with dating issues. It's an article written 14th of February 2020 by Sarah Butcher. All right, so let's jump right in. I'll go with you.
Okay. Banks are full of beautiful, successful women with dating issues. It's Valentine's Day and you haven't spent the equivalent of at least $175 on your chosen one. You are falling behind. But if you're a woman in investment banking, buying lavish gifts can be problematic. Men will say they want a powerful woman who earns more than them. But the feedback that I hear from a lot of my female clients is that when they're in a dating situation, this isn't the case, says Lucy Putter-Gill, the former JP Morgan VP in Delta One says, who left banking to travel the world and become a coach in 2020. Research has shown that men don't like women who earn more than them. There's a big issue around women in banking and dating. Putter-Gill observes, it's really difficult for them. Putter-Gill, who
All right,
is...
so let's pick that paragraph. You have worked in banking, right?
Yes.
You presently work in a bank, Polaris Bank. Okay, so this particular article, how does it apply? How have you seen it play out?
I feel I would agree with the writer. Most women in banking actually have dating issues, if not marital issues, because juggling their marital life and work together can be a lot of work for people to do. And some of these men, they don't help. Like they don't understand their woman. Imagine waking up very early in the morning, having to prepare the kids, and you need to resume as early as 7:30. So like it's a whole lot of work. And personally, others are single. We actually don't have time for ourselves. Saturday and Sunday, sometimes I'm always at work. So there's not much time to even interact with people, to see men that would call you or you, something like that.
But I do you guys agree? Because I've been in some banks on Valentine's Day, and if I tell you the kind of
Chikalas.
the kind of big gifts that you see
And maybe
people coming with.
customers.
No, people come with gifts, so they come with cakes, flowers, bouquet of
the only
flowers.
time, like for me, let me use myself as a case study. I work in a bank, but I'm not a front office officer. I work at the back end. So I only interact with staffs. My office is built such a way that customers can't see me. So for a person like me, it's just me and my head. Do you get?
Wow.
Not like I have anybody looking at me, except staffs to staff. But for people that interact with customer, like they have a whole lot of options. That's how it works.
Is it all banks? Is it all banks? I don't
Yeah,
think
all
so.
banks are like that. They are
They become
back-end
like-
officer and they are front-line officer.
They become
The
like
people
to
you
85
interact with are not just the only one that work in the bank. Some of us are, those offices that say out of office to non-staff.
Yeah.
We are all inside.
Wow.
So you don't go
But
out.
it doesn't mean you should be out of relationships. now.
You don't go
We
out.
go out. You want to have your lunch, you go to the kitchenette. You're
No.
free to come outside.
No, I'm not talking about like work
Personally,
days.
like-
Okay.
I'm talking about, if you have,
Leisure.
you guys get off days, right?
Yeah, we
Do
get
you
days.
go out?
Yeah, I do. Weekends. If
You
there's time.
alone or you with friends?
Me and friends.
That you
Friends,
like.
male friends or
Female
female friends. Okay, in that type of situation, do you? I feel like when you are in a gathering with your fellow girls, you should have, people that would cite you or something. So I feel like it should not be
Have
that
you worked
difficult.
before?
Yes, I've worked before.
Like you worked.
I've worked, but not
gigs or not like
Okay, I want to say
work.
something. I think now the situation might be kind of difficult for them because, as we all know, Godwin Emefiele said they should add the weekends to their working schedule. So how then will they get to meet someone?
But I think that's a one-off thing, that happened just because of
before
this cash crunch
they
and all
start
this
the banking.
Okay.
So most people are always still in the office. So it just
What of
depends.
church?
But you
No
go to
church
church,
man.
exactly.
They go to church now.
No church man.
It's not as easy.
It's
You
not
don't
as
like
easy
the
like that.
brothers.
It's not as easy like that.
Okay. All right. Okay, Lara.
Like, really?
God.
So much.
I want to work in bank. I want to work in bank.
Can I say something? Can I say something? Okay. I don't work in a bank. I've never worked in a bank. I don't even like bank job. I dated a banker once and man, it was shit. It was a whole lot because I felt like I was a student then. So I felt like I had to compete with his colleagues. But I think I kind of understand where she's coming from because take for instance, I don't work in a bank, but I work Mondays to Saturday. Joshua is my friend. I've been in Lagos for a year and some months, and today's the first day I'm seeing him. I go out, but I want my space. When I'm with my girls, I want to have conversation with my girls.
And so what's stopping you from having your space exactly?
No, when a guy comes into the picture, you start asking me questions that you probably won't even be interested in the answer, say 2 or 3 weeks from now. So most times it's not like, I'm trying to say I kind of understand what she's saying. Most times it's not like you don't want to have that relationship. It's not like you don't want to have the person you're talking to at the end of the day. But your girls will always be there. I'm going to work Mondays, and in her case, sometimes she has to add Sundays. So I don't want a situation where I am having to do, I won't call it talking stage now. I don't know, whatever it is they call it. But I don't want a situation where I'll have to do all that with somebody. And then at the end of the day, I'm falling back to my girls. I'm not saying like it's black and white.
What you've said right now is a completely separate.
Yeah, I know.
That category of escaping the talking stage is a different issue completely.
From meeting the person to start the talking stage.
No, to escaping. You can talk.
No,
you have to meet the person for the talking stage before you.
And I said that.
Are you meeting? Okay,
I'm somebody that is not. I'm not very good with small talks.
That's about big things.
Joshua laugh.
That's big sense and
I swear, I'm not. I'm bad with it. Like even with my family, it's terrible. I'm not good with small talks. So when you're coming to me with, so how was your day? And then I give you a detail of how my day was. And then I ask you how was your day, and you just
Fine.
Just fine.
That's a separate issue now. All right. Even if you're not working in a bank, you probably will still be that same way.
Yeah.
Yes, no.
So the conversation we are having right now is the effects that, particularly because there are lots of women. It's challenging because lots of women, the work does not allow them kind of like avenue to.
Yeah, but either ways, it's still tiring when you have to deal with all this whole banking, everything, and then there's just that, I don't know, maybe that guy or those guys that just want to keep. I don't have the right
You're not
word
coming
for
out
it.
straight.
No, it's not like I'm not coming out straight.
I think the issue, maybe to put what she's saying, I think you're trying to say that it's not peculiar to banking, right?
Yeah.
It's in other industries too.
It's in other industries
that take time.
I know that banking is the topic, like for ladies now, but it's something that some of us face too.
Not only in banking.
It's not just in banking.
Let me get you right now. What you're saying is that the nature of the day-to-day engagement, Mondays to Saturdays, does not free up time for you to devote attention to love.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, what are you talking about?
Imagine coming back from work around past 6, past 7, I'll be very tired.
Lagos traffic addition.
No,
Do
me,
you
I'm
get-
even lucky. I don't
at
experience
some
the
point,
traffic.
my branch was in Ojuelegba. I was living in Ikorodu. I'll leave my house as early as 5 p.m. I close my work 5:30. I'll round up, and before after 6, I'll leave home. I won't get to Ikorodu until like past 9, past this. So imagine me, even inside the bus, you as a guy, you're like, hi sister, do you want to look at you?
See, but you know that love is
Because I'm
sacrificial,
very,
right?
I don't
You know
care.
that love is sacrificial.
At that
See,
point,
it's
I
only-
don't
you will
care.
never,
Just-
if you
I beg,
continue to live in this, the reality of, the hustle and bustle of Lagos is not going to make you have, time for a relationship.
See,
you will never get into
You
a
are
relationship.
be tired.
I'm just
Me
trying to tell you
personally,
because I have
will
female
be
friends
tired.
that I've not been engaged with them, but I can tell you they are really busy set of people, like very busy. Look at her. She's an example. I've not seen her the last time I saw her was last year, if I'm not mistaken. And this is a
2
new
years
year.
ago, actually.
In short, 2 years ago. But if you want to make these things work, trust me, it would. But
That's for
if
someone that is what is someone I know.
you see now
Because
you have tied
the thing
it
is
to the
that-
quality of the person. You have
It's
tied
not
it-
just the way it is.
Guys.
For someone I know,
Are you-
someone that is in my I'm that
Until you
person
try,
that
you can
people
never
I
tell.
have in my circle, they are enough for me.
Exactly, that's
I don't
what I
have
was-
time
that-
to be
that-
meeting people. I don't have time.
That was what I was
are
saying
your
about-
hobbies?
You are
What
not
do you like?
giving
I
love a
don't have
chance.
the time. I
Excuse
don't
me,
have
excuse
the
me.
time.
All right, so right now you're saying you don't. Now we're going back and forth, okay? So these issues, so that would allow you guys to analyze these issues, would have time for back and forth. All right. Let's go to the next paragraph. All right. Let's read the
Okay.
next paragraph for that. Go.
Putagi is currently in Cape Town, works with a lot of female bankers. She says dating is their number one issue. I cannot tell you how many beautiful, hugely successful women there are in banking who feels like they've been sold a lie. She says, while many of her female clients are high achieving, high earners at work, they struggle to find partners who match them intellectually. They feel that the only thing going right in their lives is their career. Then in their mid-30s to 40s, they have a great job and a huge house and someone to have children. But their job takes all of their time and there's a sense of failure.
Okay. So does anybody want to jump right in? Okay. So we'll take you and then we'll move to other people, particularly about background in such work. Does that reflect the reality?
Yes, I feel it does, because banking is more than just the deposits, withdrawal, and people see. There are people that work back office that they need to be on top of the job. Like they need to create new ideas every day, every seconds. New ideas has to be created. So people like that, they are more invested in ensuring their job is done. Some of them don't have time to interact with people. And most of these people, before they know it, like they don't know, they lose track of their age. Time flies. They don't know they are getting older. They don't know. It's when they get to like 35, 40, that's when they realize that, look at me, I have everything, but no husband to come home to. And by that time, financially, they are already there, like they are their peak. So to get someone that would match their level, obviously they won't want to settle for less. So imagine finding someone, you need to be rolling with the GMD of banks, MD of, and most of these people, so they are married. So the younger ones, that even if they say they should roll with the younger ones, they are just after the money. Yes, now that's how it is.
No, I won't accept to that though.
Okay, so let's
Okay.
I won't accept to that. I feel majority of ladies there in the banking industry, they are more of career ladies. They don't want to love.
You feel
Yes,
so?
yes, I just feel so.
But this
Because
article
I've actually
is
been in
still
that kind of shoe, dating someone working in that kind of industry. All what she wants is a career. She
Sorry.
wants,
Is she a banker?
yes.
Which department?
I think the
Imagine
front
dating
desk
someone in
or so.
marketing that has a target of 50 billion to meet in a month. What do you want to tell her that was sinking?
So
It's not as if she's into the career more. She just needs to meet the target. If not,
She
she's
needs to
off
secure
work.
her
She doesn't
job.
have a job again. She needs to meet the target. So it's not as if she's career interested or everything. She just has to do whatever it is to make the job going.
Okay, so what you're saying is that if the woman has to choose between 50 billion and love,
Oh, well, 50 billion now, of course. I will buy love. 5
I don't know
million.
if I saw this somewhere though, but I think there was a statistics that was shared one time that we're approaching a time where we have a lot of unmarried women, I think in the coming years. We have a lot of unmarried women, a whole lot of them. And this is one of the problems because that's what they're selling to the ladies now.
Yeah.
Right? That you have to work on your career, you have to get rich, that's the status quo now. But one thing you need to understand is that across all industries, when a woman gets richer, her choices of men reduces.
So I should
because
not...
she has put like a, should I say like
There's like a limit.
Yeah, a
like,
limit that any guy that, like for instance, if a lady is earning 300,000, the niche of guys she wants is either greater than or equals to 300,000. Yeah. She doesn't want less.
Yes.
But if a man,
He wants less.
no, that's what I'm saying. A lady, when a lady is getting richer, you are reducing, the set of guys you could be with. When a lady is getting richer.
So,
and that's what they are selling to the ladies now.
So are you saying I should not aim higher or I should just
Aim where you are. Mark people as your
No,
name.
I can't. No, don't say that.
Okay, now the thing is, I'm not saying that I want you to, probably lessen your standard because of a man. But I'm just trying to tell you what is obtainable out there now. We are having too many ladies have the feeling that I have to just keep working and keep working. There are times where you need to take a break.
Yeah.
Trust me, there are times where you need to take a break. And that's when you have to even, what's in there for me when it comes to the aspect of love? Because if I do not take any cognizance of love, I will keep going and keep going. It never stops. That's how the industry is. It never stops. You break one milestone, you want to go for the next. Because from 50 billion, trust me, 70 billion will come next. Yeah. 100 billion will come next. You never have the time for love. So until you become very intentional about it, that, right, guys, see, whatever you guys do now, there's no boss that is, even your boss is married. Yeah. Your boss is most likely married. He has children.
There are lots of unmarried men in the
Exactly.
banking industry.
Even if he's unmarried, he would understand when you want to give a chance to love. I can't tell my boss now that I'm going for a date and will tell me I shouldn't go. No.
Some will tell you.
Baba,
trust me.
They will tell you.
Your boss will what?
You're going for a date.
That's what I'm saying.
Not with a customer.
If I want to make time for it, if I want to make time for a date, trust me, it will work. As a lady will tell you I want to do this and she will do it. They go to any limits to get what they want done. If any lady wants to give love a chance, she would. I tell you for free.
That's true. That's true.
What she said.
Okay.
I tell you that the girls are more busy than the boys. I don't understand. You're saying you don't have time. Then
Wait, another thing is that the lady wants to give.
If you are saying you don't have time, are you taking a jobless person? Someone who is probably higher than
This guy is just so weird.
Earns more.
More busier than
Okay, I understand I understand your point.
Okay.
I understand the fears, so to say. But then don't you think you guys pushed us to not wanting to have anything to
You can explain how.
Yes, thank you. Like I've been in a situation whereby somebody will tell me I can't marry a broke girl. So you wouldn't expect me to now sit down after the first relationship. The second, I will now sit down and be watching one good looking guy.
That will marry me for
who I am. So you guys pushed us to being this busy kind of person.
No.
So if you are now trying to like say, I don't have the time, not like I don't really want to have the time, but I have my own targets. Not everybody wants to just be walking and not flexing.
Yeah.
No. Body will be firewood in Abba. But then you guys pushed us to it. Let's be real.
So now you are saying that the reason why women in banking have problems because the men are the ones that push them into banking.
Nobody wants to marry a broke girl.
Okay, we'll come back to that conversation. Nobody wants to marry a broke person.
Yeah. A broke girl.
So you've been working for a while. You're also presently working, you're engaged. Okay, so we have people here who are like students who are much younger and all that.
Inexperienced.
You've not
I consider that an insult.
You've not entered into the labor market.
Yeah.
Madam, whether you consider what you say, when you enter that labor market and you see the crowd for job interviews, then you say Udi was right. But so, do you guys have contrary opinions too?
What the working women have said?
I don't. No, I don't.
So you are supporting what he said?
Yeah, I actually support what he said. But
what he, Abby?
Yeah.
Can you count?
I feel like also there is a way we can actually
Balance it.
No, we are
Genders,
balanced exactly. He said we are unexperienced or inexperienced for now, right? So I just feel like there's a way we can balance our work and our social life. I don't know. That's why we have social media. That's what I feel like, though. We can always communicate with our loved ones via social media. Probably fix dates via social media, you know.
Those
and
pictures.
on weekends and all that, you can just hang out and you have love and you have your work.
But there's no
If I'm to
weekend.
just chip in something, you know, she mentioned something. She said that, you know, guys actually are pushing ladies to this. You know, a friend of mine messaged me recently. I was like, Joshua, I know you have a lot of female friends. Give me one of your friends. And he wrote a list that these are the things. No. Actually, they are not actually like some things that you cannot relate with. They are very like cool stuff. Like, so he told me that, Joshua, these are the things I want in a lady. One, she should be somebody I'm attracted to.
Okay.
On face value, right? So she should be somebody that has something doing of purpose. It doesn't have to be working and earning big money or something. No, like something of purpose. So when you tie the fact that you have to go and work in a bank and make a very big money, or you have to go into any industry to make a big money, that's not what guys are looking for. Guys are looking for a lady that's purposeful. We don't just want to marry a full housewife. Come on, we don't do that again. Even my own mom that was giving birth to many years back, my mom was working, like she was really working before my dad found her. So he didn't meet a lazy woman. So there's no way we'll come and maybe bullshit her one day that you are not doing this thing. But guy, you married me when I was working.
Now I like your sincerity.
You understand that kind of thing? So I want to meet a lady that is doing something. I don't want to meet a lady, even if you are not working currently. Tell me about your plans, you know? Tell me those things that you are passionate about.
Thank you.
Those things that can support you with. You understand? That's pretty much it. You understand?
That's just
that's
it. Like, that's just it. Because me, I've witnessed it. Like, nobody say they tell me it's happened to me.
I think I agree with that.
So it's not like I don't know how to balance my job and my partner or my whatever. I just want something that when I'm in a relationship, I don't have to have a problem with give me money or don't give me money or maybe you are working or you are not
All right,
working.
so what we'll do right now is this. We'll circle back to the article. The next paragraph talks about younger women in banking. All right, so let's read up the article.
Okay. Younger women in banking don't necessarily share this prognosis. One 20-something female analyst in NYC says young men in the hedge funds find it hot when a woman is powerful and independent. For a lot of men these days, this is the type they go for, she claims. However, she acknowledges that she recently split with a guy who was too demanding of her time. They were in asset management and their hours were on the softer side.
Let's conclude the last paragraph and then we'll just...
The last paragraph.
You can go and read up the rest of the article. The article is e-financial careers.
Okay.
So you can read up, but just need the last paragraph and then we'll respond to it. Portugal says older women in banking are often tempted to double down. That means they are often tempted to concentrate their efforts on their careers because of relationship problem. You mentioned earlier the issue about that a lot of people in banking particularly end up having relationship issues. Are you sure those issues those issues do not come from their normal issues that people face, or is it tied into the banking itself?
If you just come from the normal issue people face, but men tend to feel that because she's doing more successful and all, that's why she's being like that.
My coach.
I didn't get your last statement. You said men feel that.
Yeah.
Are you talking from opinion or is something you?
No, I'm in a very healthy relationship.
No, I mean that.
So wait, you said you're in a very hard relationship.
Healthy.
Okay, I was afraid.
I said that is just relatable to everything that reality. But for women like that in banking that are more successful and that, even if they react to things, men will feel that it's because of the position she is into, whereas it's just normal you being you. That's why that's another reason why it's so difficult for them in dating or settling down.
Have you spoken to men and sought their opinions on this, or you just feel?
It's always like that. It's always like that. Even females, I have friends, colleagues that are married, that they're in their husband's house. Some of these people, their husband don't know how much they are earning.
Wow.
They do, because she will tell you that she just wants to have peace.
Well, that's another conversation. How is it possible for you to be married to somebody and the person will not know what you earn?
It happens. Except you just want to lie to herself.
It's really bad.
It happens.
The fact that it's happening is not making it.
Because sometimes the husband might be more of an entrepreneur and the woman is working in a bank. That's 9 to 5 job. the husband feels that, see, this kind of thing, it has to be balanced. The husband the one will wake up very early, take care of the kids, prepare food, this and that. She will come back late evening. You are just an entrepreneur. You can enter at any time. You don't have to report to anybody. Nothing will take you from making dinner. But you still expect this man that is very tired and all to come home, enter kitchen, do this,
I think
do
there are
that.
so many things. Are you saying that the issue is because the men are threatened, that the men are higher, or because of house chores?
The men are threatened because of the wife's position.
But you didn't say it now. You said it's house chores that's causing
You figured it out.
Actually, you see, the thing is, one very big attribute of respect is transparency. And one thing most men want in a lady is respect.
But do you know
if I
one
don't get
thing
transparency,
men can't handle is transparency again?
No, we can't.
Some men can't handle transparency.
Okay, so
That's another assumption.
let's just ask now. We're supposed to take an opinion poll when? In the second act.
I think
It's at the end
it's-
of this.
yeah.
Okay, so let's just take the opinion poll. By show of hands, how many of you here, if you are working in a bank and your husband was an entrepreneur, or the person you are dating an entrepreneur, how many of you ladies here will be transparent about how much you earn?
Even if you're not working in the bank. Okay.
And even if you think that it's higher than what the man earns.
Yeah.
Sure.
How many of you will be transparent about what you earn if you out earn your boyfriend 2 times?
No, I would not say like total transparency. Like, because he's not going to tell me his exact. Men lie. They won't tell you. They will not tell you the exact amount.
Humans lie.
But okay, fine, humans lie. I will never tell you exactly what I'm getting. I'll just tell you the range, and the range itself it will be.
When you are loving someone with a shock absorber in your heart, you don't love the person.
That is not.
That means you are still holding
That
on to
does not.
something that-
I'm not holding on to anything. I love you, but you
don't have
cannot
shock
know my
absorber.
exact.
All right.
Actually, you can't know my exact.
But you would like to know your spouse's exact income.
No, for reals. I just want to know the range.
Okay, so the second opinion poll. Okay. All right. Second opinion. This goes to the guys now. For the guys, including Adam, how many of you would appreciate your wife telling you how much she earns if she out earns you 2 to 1?
Sure.
How many of you would appreciate you?
You see that?
Why we here? I'll tell you.
Wait, why can't she attend you?
I'm not against.
Why can't she attend
You
you?
see, it's a very valid question. I'm not against my wife out earning me. My only problem would be what's her attitude
Towards
out
Okay,
earning
so let
me.
me add one more.
Just the attitude.
Let me add one more issue right now. How many of you will be comfortable, all right, handling a lion's share of the bills, knowing fully well that your wife out earns you 2 to 1?
I feel it's
It's relative.
It's just not fee. It's just
It's a yes
it's
or
a
no.
yes or no question.
Okay.
Your wife earns 400 grand. You earn 200 grand.
Okay.
All right. Let's use that now.
And you are still
Now,
paying.
and out of that 200 grand, you are spending 185 grand
Monthly.
because I'm taking this conversation to where it's the reason why she's saying not full transparency is not because she does not want to tell you.
Exactly.
She doesn't want to spend.
No. Okay.
Do you want to spend on? Do you want to spend
On bills.
on bills?
No,
for your man?
no. I can actually. We can share it. Oh, actually, we
Okay,
can
so
share it.
That's a separate conversation.
It's not.
We can share it.
Black and white. It's not always
It's
black and white.
relative. This thing is actually very relative.
I think the thing here is if you've ever been in a relationship, like a serious one, not like the one you meet in class and you are just catching.
It's
No,
no.
I'm not saying you. I'm not telling you directly. I'm just saying like if you actually be in that kind of. So I don't think this can be so real. Like you are trying to keep your relationship fine. You don't want to tell him so that maybe you will not feel threatened or you will not feel not because you don't want to maybe spend in the family. Of course, you can handle if he's handling the school fees. You can try to if you are earning more than. In the first place, why would you be in a relationship with somebody that you can't trust?
It's not about trust. You don't understand.
About what? It's still
communicate.
It's
not about trust.
It's still a subsection of trust.
It's not about trust.
Have you guys heard the story of the lady that collected about 5 million naira for my dad for a wedding.
Yeah,
I think
35 million.
Exactly. She collected how much? 35 million for my
And she
dad for a
never
wedding.
told
And
her
she never
husband.
told her husband about it.
The
They were
husband
about
found
almost
out
4-5 years in the marriage.
when she
Before
got an email
How does
with
that
the
sound?
investment of the
When I
money
find
as
that
fixed
out, and you know they were
deposit.
having issues. They were having issues trying to get an apartment at some point.
No, that one
She
is
said
not.
it too, that the
They had
apartment
to
they
lessen
really
the standard of
wanted.
the apartments they could get because that woman could not still open up. And when this guy will find out, I think the way he found out was he was even with her phone and maybe an alert came in or
Yeah,
something and
for
he saw the
reinvestment.
total balance and was like, Are you a mafia? How did you get this kind of money? And she had to tell him that my father sent it to me for wedding. If I was a guy, I'd be heartbroken.
Probably the guy is not honest enough, or probably is not loyal. I guess.
Exactly what
But
she's
there's
saying.
something is
Why would you be with
It could be
somebody
that
you
way.
cannot trust?
Guys, on this issue, all right, I'll ask my last opinion poll. How many of you will be willing to share the bills 50-50 with your spouse?
If you are
And not
ending
squeeze your face.
And not squeeze your
And
face.
not squeeze your face.
And not squeeze your face if you out earn him.
No.
I don't mind.
How many of you will be comfortable sharing the bills 50-50 with her if she out earns you?
It'd be easier accepted than done.
No, that's
Let me tell you what 50-50 means. It doesn't mean that if the bill is 200k, you drop 100, she drops 100.
You pay it.
No, it means that if the bill is 200k,
You drop 150.
you drop
150.
you drop 2/3.
So yeah.
That's not 50.
That's not 50.
Now, because you are
That's not 50.
No, it does not mean just 50-50.
50 actually.
So it is not
whichever way.
50-50.
So
Whichever
you are
way.
saying that 50-50 means that if the bill is 200 grand,
100,
and you
100,
out
he pays
earn the
100.
guy, he pays half, you pay half
That's
of
yes.
the bill.
Yes, that's 50-50.
Yeah, we broke at the end of 10 years now. Since you have 10 years.
Okay, so since you've answered that question, and that takes me back to the conversation, and I want to ask you this: are you certain that it's the reason why women in banking, all right, have difficulty with romantic relationship? It's not because men are not available, but it's because of the expectations they have with regards to the bills they will settle once they start earning, and they realize that in their career they won't find too many people that will probably would earn as much as them.
Yes, I agree.
That's the reason.
Yes.
Okay,
You are
so
saying men are not the problem.
Your
It's still
expectations
relating
are-
to men.
No, no.
Men are not the problem. Your
It's still
expectations for
relating.
men.
Yes.
I think that video will become relevant now.
okay, that
I
will
always
become relevant.
Yeah, I think we should play that video for them.
Okay, so
Stories where your income or something prevented you from dating a man, perhaps. Have you had any scenario where,
my income will stop me from dating a man.
where perhaps you earn more than him or
Oh,
Is
that's if
any-
you
or
even
is
know how
any
much
less
I'm
than
earning.
No, sure.
Still boyfriend and girlfriend. Why am I telling you how much I'm earning?
It's still dating.
It's still dating.
So there are levels to
See, that dating.
you're not getting
Okay,
his question. So, for example, there are some people off the top of your head, just looking at them, you can assess what they earn. You know you're out earning the guy. The guy probably he uses your bank. You are the customer service agent. You can see his account. All right. So let me tell you a story. And this story didn't happen to me. All right. I'm breaking the rule. I should allow all of you to talk. But I'll tell you this story. So I had a particular colleague of mine who was okay. So I think it was in his last year. It was in last year in medical school. He had a younger brother that was into IT also. His younger brother was doing some transactions with a particular organization, and each time they had to come and pay, they would accompany him on Allen Avenue. They would post 2 policemen with guns to accompany him because they couldn't. If you knew back then, Allen Avenue, there was traffic issues and all that. So the guy always came into a bank. His younger brother would always come into the bank, all right, with 2 policemen with guns, accompanying him to carry the Ghana must go because they couldn't put it in the vehicle and they could not put it on Okada so the Okada man does not take off. So they will manually carry Ghana must go, like 8 million or whatever in Ghana must go, 2-3 Ghana, and then they will carry it into the bank. So the lady knew his younger brother, always making cash deposit. Then she knew him. She was working in the bank. He was using that particular bank. So when he goes back then, you would go to the bank, you would tell them, before they started sending a lot, you tell them, please, how much do I have? You write your account number, they will check for you and they will tell you your balance. Okay. So he started toasting the girl. He was in final year med school. The girl was working in the bank. And then she looked at how much he was earning all that. She laughed at him. She kept laughing that, no. So eventually he finished, graduated, then he started working. And then he told her, I think the way he narrated the story to me, he told me that he told her and he said that I'm going to ask you out for the next one year. At the end of 1 year from today, if you still say no, that's the end of the relationship. I will never ask you out. So he started his house job. During his house job, he met a lady that he was interested in. Somewhere around like a month to the end of the house job, the girl was tracking. All right, tracking his earnings and all that. And at the end of his house job, okay, she started trying to contact him, trying to call him, and he was seeing her calls. He was already interested in that lady. Okay, so he didn't bother. And he said all he just did was he waited. Okay, and then on the last day, all right, about some people can be so dramatic, 30 minutes to 4 o'clock. He closed it. He said he was at the bank that last day, walked into the bank to go and make a transaction. So, and then the girl was like, I'm trying to reach her. And all I said, yes, this. How are you doing it? And then guess said that she has an answer for him. The answer is yes. He said, I'm sorry.
It's late.
It's too late. All right. So point is this. The reason why I told this long story is that there are people you would look at and from the get-go, you are saying no to them because you can see, you've not said no to them, but you know that this person, even when this person comes to you, you will not say yes to the person because my level is higher than this level. So that's the question we're asking. That's the question that Udi is referencing. So the question, can you rephrase the question to them? With my story now, can you rephrase the question to them? We want to also help young men so that they won't waste their time. They won't be buying you shawarma, sending you.
And the answer is no. Okay, like it's just like the barriers, like what you see in the man that, should I say your standards? Just every woman like has her own standard of man, and the things you see in a particular man that you say, okay, perhaps I can afford to date this one. The things you see, I say, I cannot. I don't think I can ever even have anything to do with this one. Like personal stories of men that have come and you say, no, this one, no.
What if it's other way around?
Women rarely approach men now.
Not like approaching. Like maybe later on, the guy was like, I can't date a broke girl.
Okay. Well, if you have stories related to that, you can also say.
Yeah, but I'm not certain that. I think we should stick with the ladies with the guys.
Yeah.
Because in dating relationship, most of the time, you don't get to ask a guy out more often. It's the guy that will come.
Yeah.
If you pull out your phones now, most of you guys will have people that send you WhatsApp messages. Come and either, even if he's not asking you out the relation, the guy is probably asking to come and spend the weekend or come and visit me or come and see me. Or when are you coming to see me?
When are we seeing?
When are we seeing?
So I said, baby, where are you? Why snapping pictures my dog?
Okay, so can I answer?
Yeah.
Okay. Regarding to the question, let me share a little story about myself. I think it was like 10 or 7 years ago that I found out that my mom actually had a business of her, like her personal business that she registered in my older sister's name. We never knew about the business. My dad left us when I was 2. And after
when you left, what does it mean?
He didn't die, he packed his things and he left.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So after that, initially I thought it was a dream until I think I was like 20, 22. When I told my mom, and my mom said it wasn't a dream. I kept having this reoccurring thing where I see somebody pulling a woman's hair. And I thought it was just a bad dream. But my mom said it wasn't. And we went to I personally went to the point of asking like my uncles, like what happened? Was my mom disrespectful? Blah, blah, blah. Like trying to find out like why did you just opt and leave?
How many siblings do you have?
I have an older sister.
So there's just 2 of you?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I tried finding out like why, and I remember in one of the things that I thought was a dream, I always remember walking into a place and I just see blank. I knew there were stuffs there, but then like I just see blank. So when I asked we were gisting about it one day and and when I mentioned it to my mom said, oh no, it wasn't a dream. That was the day my dad left. He packed everything in the house and he left.
Okay.
Now, the way my mom brought us up, I think one of the issues that we ladies have are some of the things that we see our mothers suffer.
Exactly.
Post-traumatic.
So you just get
problem.
to that point and you're like, I can't do this shit.
Yes.
What do you mean by shit? Because I really need to.
That's why I started with the story. My dad.
And you've described what your father.
My dad made it.
Okay,
my dad made it clear to my mom that he doesn't want her to work. He wants her to be at home. So when she had that business, she transferred it to him. But then he was using the profits according to what my uncle told me. Not even my mother's side, my dad's side now. My uncle told me my dad was using the profits to buy Benz. Imagine buying Benz in 1994.
Mercedes Benz.
Yeah. Do you get? So my sister didn't even have the kind of issues I had.
You haven't told us the issues you have.
I'm getting to that point. I'm getting to that point. The way my mom brought us up, my mom didn't bring us up to depend on men for money.
Okay.
And when I started growing up, two of my mom's uncles took over like all our affairs after my dad left. So from school fees to clothes to everything. So when I started having boyfriends, I started having issues. Because when I ask you for something and you don't give it to me, I passed through that entitlement phase. Let me put it that way.
Yeah.
When I ask you for something and you don't give it to me, I'll be like, fuck hell shit. And then I go to my uncle because I know he will give it to me. It took years, but then I realized that I had to reorientate myself.
Okay.
So I have been in situations where since I started working, I've been in situations where I was earning more than the guy.
Okay.
Okay, that one, I won't even.
Are you still with those guys now?
No.
And so effectively,
No, I'm just saying you asked the question. So it doesn't necessarily have to be someone I'm not in a relationship.
the point is this, and that's why I asked that. Because you've brought some things in your story, a couple of things in your story.
So that's why I emphasized
let me
on the
clarify.
point that, like, if you ask all of us here now.
Let me clarify, okay? From the time you started having boyfriends now, roughly, how many boyfriends have you had? Roughly 5. So those ones and some of them gave you stuff when you asked them for it.
I've actually never received a gift from a guy.
You've never?
I've never received a gift from a guy.
No. What I mean is that not gift now. You demanded. You said that if you demand and they say no, you go to your uncle now.
Yeah.
So are you telling me that all the 5 guys you dated, when you asked them for things, all of them said no?
No, okay, no. If that's what you're saying, no.
And so some said yes now.
Yeah.
Of those that said yes to you, you are not with them now.
I'm done with them.
You are not with them presently.
Okay, yeah, no.
So they are giving you a gift from the point of utility for the guy, long-term relationship. Those guys, even saying yes to you, really hasn't contributed to you still being in a relationship.
Yeah, I don't understand. Rephrase.
You mentioned that you told us the story that your mom brought you up not to depend on a guy.
Yeah.
Okay? Please help me.
Sure.
All right?
Yes.
And then you mentioned that if you dated, the guys you dated, in question, once they ask you for stuff, you go to your uncles.
Yes.
When they refuse.
When they refuse.
Yes.
Okay? Now, of all those guys that you asked for stuff, some of them said yes to you.
Yeah.
Of those that said yes to you in your relationship, okay, you are still not with them.
No,
so they are saying yes to your demands,
and you're not still with them.
It still has no effect on you being with the relationship, in keeping the relationship.
No, it was.
I wanted to hear
because you made up the story. The story you made up. The way the story.
Make it up.
No, I'm not saying you made up. What I mean is that the way the story was set up as if the reason why you exited relationships. What I was thinking was that your dad left also, and the people that you exit, once you feel that there's anybody who has a sign of not being able to meet your financial needs,
you
exited the relationship.
No, that was why I said I had to reorientate myself. Do you understand? Because over the years, I got to a point where I realized that according to what my mom and my sister used to tell me, it happened to my mom doesn't mean it will happen to me. So I had to get to the point where I realized that my mom was the one dropping the stuff. My mom was the one
footing the
bills and everything. And I felt that if I got into relationships and I didn't have to foot any bill, that's why I said I passed through the entitlement phase. the way I put it. So I felt if I didn't have to do all those things, like if I didn't have to
Be with a man.
Where you have to demand, or not even necessarily demand, where I have to drop something, I felt it was going to be different.
You have confused me.
I'm also confused. In your story, sorry.
I felt...
No, I want to understand. I'm sorry. We're following you, whatever. I want to understand. You're saying that your mom was paying in the relationship.
Yeah.
And then your dad left.
Yeah.
Now, and it made you realize that you cannot be with a man in which you have to pay the bills. That was back then. Now you have changed. Okay? That's basically.
Which gave you this entitlement spirit.
Whatever.
So you're changed now. I say that now you can be with a man that you pay the bills or what?
I can be with the man that I can split the bill. I don't have a problem.
No. Pay the way your mom paid.
Oh no, not pay.
So you haven't changed.
I
now.
can be you don't wait. Let's be honest. No, let's be honest. You don't expect me to get married to somebody and be footing the whole bill.
No, the question we ask is: have you been in a relationship? Have you seen people in which you identify that because I out earn this person, I will not date this person? And then you answer, and you've told us this story. And the conclusion is yes. If you are with a guy who you out earn, obviously, you probably would have to either
split the bill. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but
in some cases, I can't shoulder the whole responsibility. I can't split the bill.
If you earn 200 grand, okay, let's do scenario. And Oji will jump in right now. If you earn 200 grand, the guy earns 100K.
Okay.
And the bill is 150.
Okay.
All right. That means splitting the bill means that the guy will be dropping 75K. You'll be dropping 75K. The guy will be left with 25 at the end of the month. You'll be left with 125. You can see how that's the recipe for.
You know that this thing differs from. I don't know. Someone mentioned something about it being relative. This thing differs from person to person. Take for instance now, I can be earning 200K. The person I am with, relationship now, the person may be earning 100K, and then we decide to stay together. Now, if the guy wants to drop the 75K and I'm dropping the 75K, that's on him. But naturally,
you are dropping 100, he's dropping 50.
And I'm still getting to that point. That's why I said it differs from person to person. If you're with somebody that you're looking to build a future with, I'm earning higher than the guy. And take for instance, like you said, the bill is 150. It all comes to finding a balance between the both of us.
Mm-hmm. The question is you, not person to person. You are the person.
Okay, me.
Yes.
I'm the person. I don't have a problem with it.
Okay, now.
Because at the end of the day now, even if say maybe, okay, the bill is 150, right? Even if the guy is dropping 50 and I'm still dropping 100, I still have 100 and the guy has a 50. So I still have more than the guy.
Now, chill.
And that's if the guy knows now.
Your story. The guy is, now, you said that your mom raised you that you shouldn't depend on the guy.
Yeah.
Okay. And your dad left. Sorry about that. Now, there's something that I was expecting you to say. You said if you ask a man for money, he doesn't give you. I was going to say that you go and get the money yourself. You still go and ask another man.
How old am I? I'm going to my uncles that stood in place for me as a father. I'm not going to meet any random person.
I know. Chill first. You said you started dating. So I'm assuming you are not 5 years old. You are probably 18.
Are you sure?
You are probably 18.
No, when it started.
Let's assume you are probably 18 or 20. Okay. So that means you have some means to earn some money. So I was expecting to go and say you go and get the money yourself. You're asking another man.
If you're saying
you're not allowed to finish.
Okay.
I'm allowed to finish. Now, there's nothing you want to say. You still went to meet either your uncle or you still want to meet another man. Because you said your mom raised you to be independent. So I was thinking that
first I'm gonna look for a job.
George did not give
yes,
I'll just go and get the money. But that's okay. Now, the flip side of the story is that he said your mom was footing the bill, then your dad left. Now, there was something I was expecting you to say. In your story, there was no place where you mentioned that you talked to your dad. Why did he leave? Because I'm sure that
2 years.
Men don't just pack their things and leave. Yeah. Hold on now. Hold on. Chill. Okay. You've spoken about the lady. I'm talking about I'm advocating. I don't know your dad. I'm advocating your dad for your dad. Now, men don't just pack their things and leave.
Okay.
I think you should ask him, why did he leave?
Did he even know him?
And in your story, your mom I don't know if she told you, but you never mentioned that your mom told you why he left. It was your uncle. So I think you should have a conversation with your mom. Why did he leave? Men don't just leave.
I don't.
That's
No,
not really.
no, wait. I don't need to have a conversation with these people again. Let me put it that way, because I have.
Okay.
I just didn't mention it.
What
I
did
have.
your dad leave from his mouth?
Another thing, she said her uncle
I think
told
he said
her
something.
already that her dad used the money to buy Benz, which you can tell me to that he was spending lavishly. Wait, another question I feel you should ask her is, does she even know her dad?
Chill.
No, I do actually.
Chill, of course she does.
Does he? Sorry.
Why did he leave?
We have to ask if
No,
she's
I'm not-
comfortable.
No,
Okay, so within the scope of this conversation, all right, so that we don't, again, obviously, if she's not willing to talk
Share
about
that,
that issue,
so
then
it's
let's
okay.
just let's.
No,
not-
I shared that story because, first of all, I deviated from how I was brought up. That was why I brought up that story, because a lot of times we ladies, especially like when you're in your teens, your early 20s, you feel like the man should do everything. And I had that mentality. Take, for instance, my older sister.
Why do you feel that the man should do everything? Why did you feel the man should do everything then?
Because I felt like my mom went all out and it didn't work for her. So I thought I
traumatic
wanted to
problem.
try something different. But now my older sister, by the time my sister was, I think 22 or 23, she knew who she wanted to get married to. Like, they dated the whole years, got married a few months before she clocked 31. It was different for both of us. And there were certain things that my brother-in-law told me before they got married that like made me really cut cap for my sister, because at that point in time, I didn't think I was matured enough to handle that kind of thing. And that was why I brought up this story. This is how my mom brought me up, but then this is how I decided to turn out. Now, him talking about me saying I needed money and I went to another man. These are the people that stood in for me as fathers. It's not like I stopped to meet any random guy on the road.
Hold on. You
to
not
ask.
saying still. How your mom bought you the same way you are. You won't foot the bills. That's you said.
That's the point he's trying to get.
That's my
across.
point. You understand? You said you have defeated. You
Do not take it sentimental.
No, I'm not
You
taking it
understand?
sentimental, but I'm just saying if we are going to be like fully honest, like we're going the whole length of being honest, you don't expect to be in a relationship with somebody and you are footing the whole bill. Do you understand?
We're not saying footing the old bills.
Okay, what are you saying? That's what he's saying now.
No, that's not what he's saying.
What is he saying?
He's going to say what he's saying.
Now,
Okay.
chill. Now, the question was asked, can you guys do 50-50?
I can, and I said I
Hold
can.
on. And for some excitement, you people said you can.
No, there was no
But from-
excitement.
no.
I can.
Of course, everybody is deserved. But from research, we found otherwise. Women who foot the bill 50-50 with their man, no matter how honest you are, no matter how you say you are respectful, there will be a point where you'll be content. Of course, you have friends now, you have people that the husband are doing everything for them. So ideally, probably, I'm not sure you guys are an exception, but let's assume most women won't want to feel the bill 50-50 with the man. Forget everything they tell you. That is the same way the one will tell you that, baby, let's do this. You don't have money, you can stay in one room. Let's get married, because probably a clock is ticking and all that thing. Now, if you as the guy feel okay, it's different. But then you see shit, you know that everything is saying.
Okay, Oji, let me ask you a question.
Let me finish.
Out of all of us, all the ladies here, how many do you know personally?
Okay, chill. Of course, I don't know. That's why I'm quoting research. Now, you can't.
So you prefer to quote research than to have actual conversations?
Of course, I
Yeah.
don't bank on your opinions now. You people can lie, you people can say, I don't know. So, hold on, chill.
Then why did you invite
Chill
us
now,
to talk?
hold
You
on.
cannot bank
You
on
guys
our
are,
opinions.
hold on. I have to weigh your opinion with what is happening. Do you understand? And the fact that they are exception doesn't negate the rule. So, as you look at your opinion, wait with what is happening, observe reality and statistics that we have. Now, you people are saying that I can foot the bill. Baba, his mouth. You people cannot do the 50-50. Now, every woman wants, hold on, chill. You might criticize the bed. You can go ask a random woman. Every woman wants a man that will spoil her.
Yeah.
Now, that spoiling might be different. You see that 50-50 bill? Women that have tried it, I mean, you get to a point that
there's a threshold.
She will be. She will get to a limit. You can't take.
And why do you think she got to that limit?
Hold on now. I'm not talking about you. Hold on. She gets to a limit where she can't take it anymore. Where she starts disrespecting the man. She start telling the man, I'm coming, I'm late, please cook for me and all. Of course.
So wait,
Hold
I don't
on,
Number one, my question to you is this: how many marriages have you visited? One. How many real experience do you have? Are you working based on what you saw in the
now
media?
I've allowed this go for so long, so let's just nip this.
Like,
let's
I don't
go back.
understand.
Let's go back to
You get
the
babe.
conversation. Now that was a personal attack, all right? I want your response. Okay, so still back to the story. All right. I allowed it to go on for a reason because I think you would benefit from it. There's a phrase we say here over and over again: the unexamined life is not worth living. Okay, a lot of times you've seen people say last week, the last show we had, we had a gentleman here who happened to be your blood brother. And when they asked him what kind of woman he wanted, he listed what
Intelligent.
Intelligent and character.
Intelligent and character.
Yes.
But yet, when he was collecting the phone numbers of women here, he picked what?
The one with
Yes.
Sir, that was just cruise.
Which
We both know him. We still talk about it yesterday before he came here.
Papa is a guy. You are all those schools. I'm a guy. He's a guy. This is
We are different.
You can't
Excuse me, sir. The person he collected his line, did he chat you? No.
Did you?
No, now he's not the one.
She's not the one that we're talking about.
Now, Baba.
All of us, listen, this is
all of us know.
we are here on the podcast, and all of us here, we watched what was happening. In fact, in my mind, I was like, this man he just came in here, you're just like that. Did you get to
Collected numbers,
He was
right?
just
So the same way.
You know, the thing is,
That guy was saying intelligent and character. The same way people are raising your hand.
most of these topics are always very relative. So in as much as there are, statistics to back them up, there are always different ways that people react to these things.
You don't know what
So, and if I can have my own, experiences, he's right, to a great extent.
Opinion, cheapest commodity.
Like I will tell you, the male gender, we have so many things that we do in common that could make anyone want to generalize that this is how men are.
Depending on where
there is always a niche of people that will always be different. Even in the feminine gender that we're saying, we've seen movies like Acrimony and all, even though it's based on fiction and all, but we've seen the extent to which ladies can go just to keep their man.
Like the last story.
For ladies, this is the question, and this question is born out of what she said. Maybe we should go back to her because this is it right now. You work in banking, right? You're dating someone presently, so you're not single.
Healthy relationship.
Okay, that's signs of a healthy
That guy must be better than most of us men.
He has his own reasons for saying that.
Okay. However, so how long have you been dating, by the way?
Few months. Few months.
It's not like I want anybody here to cast. All right. Are you with me? I don't want to destroy your personal family or relationships. You come on a podcast and then your uncles or aunties stop talking to you, or church members because this guy went on there and started discussing no, we don't want that. We're looking at experiences that people can learn from. Okay, and that's why we ask the stories, really. Okay, so my question to you is this. Do you know anybody in your workplace, okay, who refused to date a guy because she out-earned the person as a banker?
No, none that I'm aware of.
And none of them discuss with you. It's not like people discuss their personal...
People really don't.
Okay, so in your personal relationships, have you ever been in a position where the earnings of the guy was a major factor in which you said no to him?
No.
Be honest.
No.
So anybody who came to you never assessed them that, is this person my level?
I go for people that earn more than me.
And so you've answered the question.
Yes. Like people that earn more than me.
So everybody you've dated has always out-earned you.
Yes.
That's a requirement.
Yes.
Okay, so thank you for being honest.
Is there contrary opinion to her?
Is there anybody here who has said no to a guy because you out-earned the guy? So that means yes, you have said no to guys now. Are you telling that all the guys who have said, have all the men that have approached you for a relationship, have all of them out-earned you?
Oh, I don't understand.
Let me rephrase.
Okay, so what he's asking is, take for instance, like in talking stage, Did you guys ever mention anything about salary?
Yeah. No,
No, I guess that's
salary.
not the question.
But that's what he's asking now. Has he
guess,
ever
like,
been
people
with
have posted you,
anybody?
People that have posted you.
Yes, like
Like, I'll look at them and be like,
Yes.
yes, I have.
Most of
I was in
them,
a
they're
talking
always
stage. I
upset.
just met someone.
So you tell us the story now. Yes. So
I
you
just
said
met someone and we were talking and we got to the part of, okay, share me your pictures. And immediately he sent his pictures and I saw it. I just blocked him. I didn't go further.
all right. So you guys can see that.
I didn't go further because from the picture I was able to assess that.
That means you judged.
I
You
don't even know.
judged to just by his mouth.
This guy used to have money.
No, this one, like, he said it that it was an intern somewhere.
Okay.
And with the pictures, like, the thing is that I really even didn't go for the side, but the attracting, it was not attractive to me.
It wasn't good looking enough.
Yes.
Or it was not
Wasn't
well
about
dressed.
his face.
Which of the two?
Everything was just like, how you been in a talking stage with someone and you're sending me your sign out pictures that you didn't
He's a newbie.
I don't even want to know.
Newbie.
So you're saying that you said no to him because you feel your level is higher than that.
Yes.
Based on
It's
face
normal thing
value.
that
Yes.
girls do. Okay, can I agree? So is there any girl here that will not do what she does? Because I think you were saying that time that you can go for men that are lower than
She said you're from like talking states.
you. Assuming
Okay, fine.
If
I can't say I won't go for a guy lower than
If
me.
yes or
Like
no,
I can't just say yes or no. It's my opinion, fine. But at the same time, I can't just
you are calling your
see,
opinion.
I can't just say I want a man deliberately
You
that
also-
I'm earning more than. But if situation or life happens and I end up earning more than him, it's not
life
a
don't
problem.
happen.
Wait, I want to ask you. Let me put the question straight. Two men have the same personality. One
Okay.
ends higher, one ends
Which
lower.
one will I pick
will you
higher?
pick? Definitely, then you've answered the
And I'm
question.
not disputing. But what if it's just that one that doesn't have more than
That
me
is an
that is
option.
available? Won't I go for it? That's the
So
question
you only
here.
choose, you only pick a man if you do not have
It's because of options. Yes, that's it. It's not. I'm not saying I detest
That's your number
them.
one filter. That's
I'm
your
not
number
saying
one
wait.
filter. I think
I'm
your
not
number one
saying
filter
wait.
now as ladies is that
Can
you
I
filter
talk?
based on
It's no.
parent.
I'm saying. If you were here last week, I shared my story.
Okay.
So if you listen to my story, you know that I'm not really the freak of that kind of thing.
Okay.
But then if I'm opportuned to have somebody earning higher than me, why not?
Opportunity.
And if the person that I'm not earning more than, maybe the person is lower, no problem.
Okay, what happens
In
if you
as
are
much
with,
we understand ourselves.
Baba,
That's
you
what I'm
understand
what happens if
saying.
you are with someone that is earning lower than you, then someone that is earning higher approach you?
That shows I don't want to be faithful.
I know what are you going to do?
I want to say
I will
something.
stay with my bobo.
When you're not married to the person.
When I'm not married, why am I in the relationship before? It's not for marriage. Why
Okay,
won't
no
I know
problem.
his income state or whatever before going into relationship with him? So because a Jack come from nowhere now, now say, hey bro, you don't get money, man.
Okay.
My views,
Do we really ask these questions? Do you ask them how much they earn?
Of course.
Me
just saying,
personally,
don't ask them.
How do you know they earn higher than you?
like for me to get to a stage that I will ask you how much are you earning, would have gotten like you know
I'm actually
the
not
conversation,
comfortable
the
telling
talking
a
stage
lady.
would have gotten so deep.
Because I
But
think-
I mean, even for me, it's weird. Like we are talking for the first time, and you're asking me, "Do you work?" Yes. How much are you earning? I look at it like, do you want me to be paying your NEPA bill? Like, do you get?
A man doesn't filter the woman based on income.
Yeah,
Man
the
does.
higher we earn. No, the higher we earn.
Man does.
Hello?
Which man?
Men does
They
rather.
do, they
See,
do,
let me tell you
bro, they
something.
do.
Men have
I am a
standard of
practical
how
example.
much they want their women
I
to be
said something
earning.
earlier, but I said it only on the woman's side, which was the higher a woman earn, the lesser the need for her to, But it's not. It doesn't apply for men. Any amount I'm earning, I will always find somebody
true. I
equal
think you
or
should
lower
talk
than.
about
Yes.
yourself.
Okay,
You should
No,
say
no, no,
it
no,
doesn't
no. It
apply
applies to all
me.
men. It applies to all men. I'm a man. I can have my pick of girls.
Men don't filter.
I can have my pick of
Joshua,
girls.
that's not true. You
It
should
is.
say,
I
Joshua,
can
that's
always have
not true.
I will not go for people who earn higher than I do. If I'm a guy, that's what I'm saying. As a guy, he has his own pick of girls. There's statistics shows almost 2 to 1 now. If not more.
Exactly. So if it's okay
That's
for
what I'm
you,
telling
why
you.
isn't it okay for a lady to have that
I think
choice?
the bone
too?
of contention is true. I think we have somebody that have something practical. So I think Mr. Steven have something on.
She has been brutally honest. All right, income is a major filter, and she assesses income by appearances. She has said it. Okay? And it's not different from what I have heard female bankers say.
Which is still not right.
Okay?
I just had to let it out there.
All right. Baba, you're taking she has told you what.
That's me.
Take it or leave
Okay.
it.
Take it or leave it.
No longer.
All right, so I'm going to ask you. So let's just go around and all that. Have you been in a situation in which you assessed a guy based on his income?
Well, I'm not sure. Moreover,
Are you dating anybody right now?
sure,
You're dating someone right now.
of course.
How long have you guys been together?
Well, it's not up to a year.
The way you're saying it, are you uncomfortable with the guy?
I'm comfortable with him.
You are looking as if
So worried.
you're worried, you're restless. Is there anything
so-
wrong with being on this show?
At all?
Would you want us to
Nothing is
excuse you?
wrong. No, I'm okay.
All right, so before you met the guy in question, first and foremost, your present guy right now, is he working? Does he work? Or is he a
Well,
student too?
he's a student.
Okay.
Why did you do that?
All right, so I'll just quickly jump in with your guy. How old are you right now?
I'm 21.
21. Okay, so since you're 21 and your boyfriend is a student, I don't want to knock his chances, but there's a very, very good chance you guys may not end up together.
Straight and direct.
All right, I'm telling you, I'm being honest with you. Okay, so the reason why we have this conversation on the show, all right, is because we want people to be able to make the right sets of decisions. I'm not saying you should go and break up with your boyfriend though.
Well, he's a student, but he has what he does. Like, he has what he's doing. So, like, he's not a G guy, but he does something online, like all this online business stuff. That's what he
And
does.
he makes enough from the online business to keep.
Yeah. What are you saying?
He's a web developer. No, so I would tell you this. I'm not trying to get you to break up with your guy. Okay. But you've heard the entire stories we've said. All right. On this show, we advocate that if women are going to go into relationships, they should be focused on getting married within 2 years. And there's a reason for that. We're not saying that you cannot date people for fun. But the reason why we say people should focus on getting married within 2 years is because the longer women stay before they get married, the more difficult it becomes to have children. I'm not saying you would have difficulty. I'm just saying it becomes more difficult having children. All right. And there's something that's painful for a woman to want to have kids and not be able to have it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if at this particular stage, you are in a particular frame of mind in which you can have relationships and you know you are ready to get married, then it makes sense for you to engage with people who are ready, who are of the marrying kind. And what does that mean? Usually most men, from statistics, most men do not get married before the age of 28. In fact, there's a range between the age of 28 to 33. And the reason why is because men require some time of work.
Yes.
Okay, to gather up the resources they need to support a family. Yeah. So if I'm listening to you and you tell me you're 21, your boyfriend is 22, and your boyfriend does not have an inheritance from his father, or it's not as if it's not like he has bought shares. They bought shares in a company that went public or whatever. If you don't have that large amount of income, chances are that he will not be ready to settle into marital relationship. And what usually ends up happening is you probably will date him for 2-3 years, and then probably you guys will break up. That's what usually, if you talk to most people, you've seen people, most people who date in secondary school or on 100 level 2 and they end up. So just keep that at the back of your mind. So let's just move on to the next person so that I'm not trying to make you feel bad.
Of course,
okay?
I'm
But
not.
you can show him this podcast and ask him that you went on a podcast.
We go marry.
Who are we?
When do you think? I think you should even ask him this question. When do you think you will be ready to get married?
I think that question is not the
For now.
They've been dating for
For now.
So like
What level is he? And what level are you?
The question is she ready to get married?
that's exactly.
Okay, so let me ask you this. This is it. Are you ready to get married?
Like in the next,
How soon would in the next? How many years do you think you?
well, I think in the next 4 years, yeah, to be precise.
So do you think you are going to
Be a
date
lot
this
of
guy
the
for the
rings, man.
next 4 years without breaking up?
Lord of the Rings.
Because this is what will end up happening. Let me tell you what will end up happening. All right, okay. I don't know much about your guy. All right, but if you hang out with the guy for the next 4 years, all right. I'm a guy. I don't see how as a single guy I would be with a lady for 5 years and won't have sex. I don't see that. I don't see. I don't see as a single lady you will have sex with the guy at some particular point in time. You may not run the risk of getting pregnant for him. Okay? I don't see that. So it means that within 5 years, at some point, if you get pregnant from him, I don't see how you won't have termination of pregnancies. I'm being honest with you because I am a doctor. I have seen people. In fact, the point is, so I don't see how that will not happen. And so what will end up happening is at the age of 25, you may now meet a new guy and you now ask the guy that you should forget about the guy you've been with for 5 years. Do you understand me? So just think about it. Have the conversation with him when you get back. And if he tells you that you guys will not get married in the next 6 years, then why are you wasting your time? Because the time you are spending with the guy, you may find there might be a young man between the age of 28 to 33 who is ready to get married in the next 2 years. And you will say no to that guy because you're dating someone presently. This is not religion. This is not relation. We're being practical. Okay?
Even if he tells you yes,
if it tells you, it's not a matter of just him telling you yes. You also have to, there has to be the receipt. You know what I mean by receipt? The guy must be capable of supporting a family. He must be capable of supporting 2 children within the first 3 to 4 years of the marriage. If he's not capable of doing that, the guy is lying to you.
Almost like if the guy loves you, if the guy loves you, he'll probably tell you yes. If you ask the next 2 years,
So that you know go for another guy.
If guy loves you, am I wrong? This right.
No, he's right.
You are talking to the elder statesman now.
He's right.
These are the,
I mean, why would I lose you?
Because that question is so
the
weighty.
question I'm putting to her. You're not getting the question. I didn't ask her, is the guy going to marry her? Okay, I'm asking her right now. So let me rephrase the question. You should ask him that how soon does he think the 2 of you will get married? So that you can put a clock to it. Because if the guy is not ready to get married in the next 4 years, don't waste your time. All right? So that 4 years will go by, you're 25, and then the guy tells you that now I'm not ready, I'll be ready in 4 years' time. That's another 4 years, 8 years, you're 29.
And then by
the time you're 29, the guy now tells you that I would have dated you, but you are not looking like this 22-year-old.
Damn.
And
when he's finally ready.
Damn.
We guys have, there are guys in this room that people, if they see them, they will do like this for. All right, so let's just leave that there so that still back to the old conversation we are having. Let me tell you a joke that people cry. When they come, if someone comes to the hospital, a young lady, right, probably like 21, 22, she comes to the hospital and she says that she hasn't seen her period for a while. All right.
Look for it.
And I'm telling you from experience, there are people who will come in when they tell you that. Some of them say, I've never had sex, I'm a virgin. A number of people that have sworn that you are virgin. And that's okay, no problem. I believe you're a virgin, but we're going to do pregnancy tests. So we do pregnancy test, comes back positive. The person now starts pretending. The person starts to trying to format us. I said, I don't know what happened. I don't. This. There was a girl who I couldn't forget. The girl was like, "Oh, what a mess! That was what a mess." That she's not been in this. So what? She now has that. So what's going to happen next? And I told her, go and register for antenatal. Do you understand? Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Zainab. So that you don't have to have someone tell you, go and register for antenatal. So think about it. All right, so let's jump. Have you been in that situation in which you have to assess, have you dated men and you have to assess them on the basis of their earnings?
No.
You've never assessed any man on the basis of how much he earns?
I have, but I've not dated any.
Please help me. I don't understand.
Like, she has not been in a relationship before.
Yes. Right. No, not before. Like, I've no... Okay, let me say the relationship I had. Let me call it all this premature relationship.
Just for fun.
Yeah, okay. Exactly. But presently, no.
Now she's ready for marriage.
No, I'm not saying I'm ready for marriage. I'm saying I'm not in any serious or I've not seen anybody serious. You understand?
And if he comes, you are ready.
Yes. But not anytime soon. Like not this year or next year. You understand? Yes.
Okay. Anybody else? You wanted to contribute.
I wanted to say something that normally I won't go for a guy that my salary is higher than his, but then. Before you start talking about salary, you'll be talking to the person and you'll be knowing how, like, okay, I'm feeling the vibe and everything. Then maybe when it's time to get serious, maybe the salary partner comes in. It now depends on the wage. I can't be earning 500 and you'll be earning 200. It's not balancing. If at all you want to earn lower than me, it should be like 400,
450. I'll not be okay.
Can I say something?
But if you flip it, he can be and you.
Yeah.
Of course.
Can I say something? Do you know, let's say for instance, right, I engage a lady for now and we've been going, 1 month, 2 months, we've been going out, we've been having dates. This discussion has not come out. And probably if you wanted to ask any deep question, let's say for instance, genotype.
Thank
you.
you.
ask for a genotype, I was like, okay, I'm A, and you're like, oh, I'm fine. I'm A, so we're compatible. The discussion for salary never came up. You were falling in love. This is the 3rd month. This is the 4th month.
Yeah.
Do you think by the 6th, 7th month, when you are
should be
deeply
easy.
in love and you're even ready to give me half of your money to say, oh, I told you I had an accident now. You ran to the hospital and you're like,
Sorry.
doctor, take.
But sorry, before then, you said you're already going out on a date.
Yes.
So you would have known
I have an idea.
how much
Trust me, some guys can be very, very prudent.
you would know.
Yes.
Some
if
guys
it's
can be
someone
very-
you spend quality time
From
with, you
what
would
he
know.
I
knows.
will tell you, some
You
guys,
don't know.
some
I'm
guys
on the
can,
guys. I'm on the guys' side.
some
for
guys
this.
can earn
Wallah, you will not
70,000 naira
know.
and they are very prudent. I know of some guys that are very, like for now, although at some point in my career, I've been working for almost 8 years now, if I'm not mistaken. There were sometimes I was having issues with being prudent. When I initially started my career, right, I was having issues with being prudent because it was, when I started, advancing in my career, going from one level to another, I started seeing the need to be prudent. And I can tell you that even when I was earning something very small, with the way I saw some of my colleagues handling money, I knew that, trust me, a lady will not know how much she's earning until he tells her.
Yes.
Because he's very, very prudent. This guy will take you to any fancy thing you want. A guy will go to any length to make you feel good.
Yes.
Trust me, and you would never know. You want the good life, I'll give you the good life.
See, you enter inside.
So that's what I'm saying. On face value, I don't think this whole discussion of salary, because I don't think you would ask outrightly. And I would not tell you outrightly because the chances of you gold digging will start. Because if I tell you I'm earning 800,000 now, you start to gold dig. Whether you like it or not, subconsciously it just happens.
I just feel that if at all you're any lower than me, it shouldn't be too low. There should be like
And
kind of
what if you're already in love?
And
The
it
fact
should,
that you
and
don't
it should
even
have
know. You're already
some
in love.
potentials that can increase the salary.
That's
You
what I want to say.
You don't have to be working in a bank or whatever. But
If this guy
there
has
are other
plans,
things you can do.
I think
like,
we should look futuristic rather than just
Yes.
present. What is
All right.
My father was working.
Baba,
If he's
Baba.
working
I don't want
towards
to
those
cast
future
Joshua.
ambitions, that's
Sir Joshua,
another
don't
thing.
cast your dad. All right. That futuristic talk, is sweet. I know. Listen, I know people who told me that they cannot imagine life without me.
yeah.
I've not spoken to them in 15 years,
And they're alive.
And you're like,
and they are alive.
bringing fun.
Some of them are in this Lagos.
What did you do?
Eh? That's story for another
That
day.
was
What was
empty.
earning?
All right, so on the issue, okay, I think we've discussed, we wanted to get stories out, and it's one of the things that is dawning from this conversation is, because it's important to have this conversation. She mentioned that there's a way you can assess if somebody is wealthy enough to support a family. She mentioned that. Okay, I will be interested in hearing how you can assess. I want to learn, really, I want to learn how women can assess if a man can support a family. Okay, on a long-term basis.
Play by the book.
All right. You mentioned that if you are earning, the man must not earn too much lower than you. Okay. I would want to understand what too much lower is. Okay. It's important because if you're too much, your conversations have to be grounded in reality. I want you to, let's take this podcast as an example. When we have the conversations about people coming for this podcast, one of the questions we ask is, where are they coming from? What would it cost to bring them down? All right. How would you? Those are candid conversations. If you are talking about getting a job, living somewhere, one of the things you calculate is what will be the cost of transportation to and from where you are working? What will be the cost of rent where you are living? And then on the basis of, people have turned down jobs on the basis of the cost of rent and the transportation in certain cities. They'll tell you it's not worth it. So in the same vein also, when it comes to relationship, all right, and marriage, what will it cost, all right, to start a family? We're in Nigeria, so let's talk about Nigeria now. So that the young men can know, all right, if this is the minimum cost, the man, we agree that any man who does not earn this minimum should not bother toasting a babe. He should save his energy.
Better rest.
Should not toast a babe above 21 that is.
So 21 not.
The lesser ones are more demanding.
You don't understand. Let me tell you what this guy is saying.
These are more demanding.
What he's trying to tell you is that
not
your
ready
guy
for marriage.
is packaging bobo for you. I'm telling you. All right?
It's just cruise. Fun.
All right.
How is it cool? So I'm saying true to
No, calm.
Okay,
I'm
so
saying relationship. Maybe she's in school. They're always seeing themselves. So
I'm not in secondary school.
I'm not saying secondary. No, wait, chill. I'm not saying secondary. It's normal. I'm in school, higher institution. But I'm always seeing this guy. He's always helping me with my assignment and all that.
No.
I'm not saying that's your situation. I'm just trying to
understand where you're
explain.
driving at,
Okay.
but that's not the case.
Okay.
You understand?
This relationship thing to me, personally, I'm not just interested. Like when I was wait now, just chill. When I was growing up, I didn't have feelings for anybody when I was in secondary school. I never had feelings for anybody. All those crush things. If you ask me out, if you call me that you want to toast me or whatever, I'll be running, I'll be sweating. So even my secondary school mates, I give them space. You can't touch me.
Do you have like a gang?
No.
Do you have like
I don't have friends.
allow her finish.
Yes.
I just want to know.
So I'm trying to talk about, I think I've been in that situation before. So I finished secondary school. I was in 100 level. Everybody having boyfriend, girlfriend. I just felt, let me just try what this boyfriend and this girlfriend thing is looking like. So I started dating somebody. He was in Benue. I was in Ijebu. Okay. I got
Did you say he's in Benue? Benue, of all places.
His parents are in Ikorodu, but he's in Benue.
He was working there.
No, he's schooling in Benue.
Okay.
Yes. So I wouldn't want to talk about his school life though. Let me just talk about mine. So he was in 300 level, I was in 100 level. And we started dating. He calls and all that and everything. I'm driving at what she's saying. He's not working. Me, in my own house, I don't ask money from guys. And I'm not even used to it. Anybody I ask money from, my mom, my brother, definitely they'll give me. Like, I've never in my life called a guy that send me a recharge card or buy sub for me, all that, and stuff like that. So in that relationship, I fund the bills. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. Our first date, I took him out to Maryland Mall. Wow. With my money. I transported him. No, it's funny. I'm just telling you my situation.
Allow her finish.
I'm just trying to say, as in putting myself in her shoes, I'm not saying it may not work out. Hey. We dated, if I'm not mistaken. We dated since 2014 till 2019 when I was serving. That's 2019 when I was serving. I'm like, God, what kind of relationship is this? Because I practically pay for everything. It's so boring. Like, extremely.
Sorry, he said that when you were in 300, the guy was in 300 level, you were in 100 level. So when you were serving, I'm sure that finished school by then. He was not
I don't want to
working.
talk about the school thing. I don't want to talk about his school thing.
He was never in school.
He was in school, but I don't understand that's his school thing.
He didn't
He
graduate.
has not served. As I'm talking to you now.
That's right, yeah.
You see in school, right?
So I don't want to talk about his school thing. Yes, that's. I don't want to because definitely.
He's doing his PhD.
But I know the person, right?
So I'm talking about it's a story that is driving me to say this. Yeah. So I actually loved him. Like I love him. My mom, I'm a Yoruba girl, and he's Benue. My mom will just be Sola. Do you want to marry someone that is not Benue? There's someone that is not Yoruba and all that. I will not be giving myself reasons to want to marry someone that is Benue. Because whenever I go to there, I'm just always looking at this Yoruba wifey thing. You wash clothes, wash plates. And I'm like, this Benue guy will just sit down. I'll be flexing. If I go to the house, like, they'll give me food. So away from that. So the relationship was becoming very boring. All my friends were getting married. I'm like, what kind of relationship? I was no longer comfortable with it. It's not working. During my NYC, because I served during Corona, he called me, he wanted to start a business. I'm like, okay. Let's do like this. Let me send you 20K. I sent him 20K out of my life. We're collecting 33. Yes. Till today, he doesn't have a job. He doesn't even know what he wants to do. So boom, he just started chatting me up now and saying, let's start something. Don't worry, I'll soon rent house. By this time of the day. By this time of the day.
I think you enabled him.
Let's.
So
can I?
No, I want to finish the story.
So that's why everybody will be telling me I should leave the guy and all that, but I'll be like, no, I love it. And actually, he's my first person I've ever dated. Like, he's the first person I ever loved. He's the first person I've never imagined, because I had made this promise to myself, the first person I will date in my life will be the first person I'll get married to.
The first person you get married to.
Yes, anybody I will date, I'll tell you I'm dating you. I'm going to get married to you. So I just keep pushing. When it goes to that 2019, I just got tired. God not even come and bless me after I finished my NYC. God blessed me with one job. I was on admin job. I don't even have time for myself. So it got to a state that relationship start becoming so annoying. If you are at my side and you're making call with a guy, you're telling him, I'll just be angry.
Excuse me, because to clarify something, are you angry because you are footing the bills?
No, I don't have issues with footing the bills.
What's making you angry?
I'm just angry because
There's no excitement.
The relationship is boring. It's not looking like it's leading to anywhere.
What makes it boring?
No future.
What makes it boring?
Because I'm sure that if they are
Gentlemen,
you can't say it's boring.
Gentlemen, you guys be honest now. You know why she's saying this stuff is boring now.
See, Oji, as a guy, if you are buying gifts for your girlfriend all the time in a relationship and she has never for once reciprocated, it will get boring, you get tired. Reciprocation is needed. If she's footing the bill, she's okay with it, but at least reciprocate with something.
Time I'd lied to my mom that he took me out. Because my mom, I always normally paint. I do painting. Like, he's a good person.
You guys seeing this kind of guys?
That's my problem. somebody that you are spending money for 5 years. I think you enabled it. I'm sorry.
I
you
know
can't
him.
get somebody for 1 year. Even 1 year. And you are the one sorry.
Let her finish what she's
Oji said you enabled him.
Oji listens to argue. He doesn't listen to
conversation.
He doesn't listen to have a
You said it was not working.
Yeah.
All right, beautiful. Oji, let me just, so that we can, we'll do Q&A.
Okay.
All right, we'll do question and answer. Okay, we'll do question and answer. We'll have like maybe 20 minutes for question and then we'll close up. Let me just wrap up. Thank you for your story. Okay, she said something. All right, and these are the kind of conversations that we want people to have. All right, we want people to have. She said that it appears that this stuff is not leading anywhere. This one that she's saying that she's the one foot. If she had been the one footing the bills and somewhere along the line she found out that the guy was using his income to build a house,
she would have known.
all right, and that he had set a date for the wedding. She won't be talking about being bored.
Yes,
I'm looking at you. Please do not take this. I don't know you from. We may not see again and all that, but okay. But I'm taking this out because there's a difference between hope and wishful thinking, and I'll tell you the difference. I'll tell you the difference between hope and wishful thinking as it applies to relationship, as it applies to careers. All right? If someone is hoping for something, hoping for something means that you are taking concrete steps towards the achievement of that particular outcome. Wishful thinking means you're not taking any steps. So I'll tell you the difference. If I tell you that I hope, if I tell you right now that I hope by next year, all right, will be this podcast that we're organizing would have 1,000 people in attendance in a large-scale event. If I tell you I hope, the question you should ask me is this: have we assessed event venues, places that can seat 1,000 people? What is the cost of that event venue? What is the cost of getting 1,000 people? Where will the resources come from? Okay, and I tell you, these are the steps we will take towards getting the money to pay for this event venue. So if I'm telling you that a year from now, this event is going to hold 1,000 people in attendance, you will believe because there's a pathway. Do you understand me?
Yes.
If you tell me that you're preparing, if you tell me that by next year you'll be working in, let's say, Silicon Valley, by December next year, all right? The question is this: I expect you to show me you've enrolled for classes, you are interviewing with organizations. Are you with me? Yeah. You are taking concrete steps so that by the time next year comes, I know that, okay, in your inbox, you probably would have You probably would have had sent out 100 emails. You probably would have gotten 99 rejection letters. There's a pathway there. Do you get me? If someone tells you that he's going to become a doctor 5 years from now, where is the guy right now? Okay, the guy is in 300 level or 400 level. Okay, he's writing his exams and all that. You can see the pathway. Wishful thinking is the person tells you that he's going to organize an event next year and he cannot answer those concrete details. In the story she just narrated, all right, the reason why continuing to hang on with that guy being wishful thinking is because there's nothing in the guy's life that can point to a pathway leading to marriage. And that's why I asked you the question. For most men, one of the first yardsticks for most men, if you are dealing with a guy and you ask him, how old are you? Okay, and the guy is a graduate in Nigeria and the guy tells you that he's, rather, if you ask the guy, how old are you? And the guy, without knowing whether he's a graduate or not, and the guy tells you that he's 21-year-old, chances are that guy is not going to get married in the next 7 years. It's not, you don't need any magician to tell you. Do you understand me? Yeah. Now, if you meet someone, Pen tells is 28 years old, you ask him, okay, so have you graduated from school? And Pen tells you, I'm in 100 level. Chances are that guy is also not still going to get married in the next 7 years. Because he's going to graduate from school, that's 3 years. He's going to go for youth service, that's the 4th year. The guy's going to want to work for 3 years to be able to at least pay for the wedding, do you understand? So that's 7 years. Now you have to plug 7 years into your life and ask yourself, do I have 7 years to spend waiting for this guy? Do you understand? So the question I'm asking is because I have seen it happen over and over again. People will date for a very long time period, particularly the first person I'm with or the first person and that's the story. And so if we're having this conversation, hopefully that whoever is watching this keeps that at the back of their mind, that there has to be a pathway towards whatever outcome that you hope to achieve. So on the basis of that, we'll close out this and then we'll go into Q&A. During the course of this conversation, we had issues that came up. We had conversations that came up during the course of this question and answer. And so in this particular conversation, everybody will get a chance. If you have a question to ask for anybody who has spoken, you have an opportunity to ask them questions before we go into the next show. Do you have questions for her?
Of course.
Okay, so who do you have questions for?
I think I have questions for her.
For her?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what we'll do. We're supposed to take a response from you.
Yes.
Yeah. We're supposed to take a response from you. Okay, let's take your response before we do the Q&A. Can we get your response in 2 minutes?
More like a story or so.
Okay, let's hear your story then.
Also. Okay. So basically, you never asked the question you asked the ladies. You didn't ask the guys if they would love to date or get married to any person having a lower standard.
The reason why we didn't ask the question is because that's what the second show is.
Okay.
We're going to review an article in the second show.
Okay.
And then you would have your seat.
Okay.
And the ladies will take their turn.
So basically, I studied accounting back then in school, finished 2015. And my first offer came in car care. So I think I was paid 300,000 then. And things was working well. Not until when I just got a dream to just go into education and then to start up a business. And the first school I started, that is starting doing more of computer work, doing computer teaching work, was 5,000 naira a month. So I left 300,000 naira job to a 5,000 naira job. So I had this little car then due to the money I was earning from the IT job then. And I met this girl, a Unila girl. She studied English. So apparently she also was a teacher, her first job. Now she has actually traveled though. She was earning 25, I was earning less. So I moved from 5,000 to 17,000. She was earning 25, I was earning 17,000. But she never knew, but she often see me with the car.
Okay.
So she felt maybe the money was there. I didn't discuss anything about money. I was just living my normal life. And just one day I told her about my income. I said, babe, this is what I'm earning because you're asking me to buy Brazilian hair of 30 something for 5,000. That's my salary of 2 months. Where will I see that? So she kept on doing that. So I actually found out that after me, she has someone else. To cut our story short,
Back up.
you know how car is now, maintenance of car and all those things. I just one day, then I was still staying around Ikorodu. So just one sudden day, just a day, I left a normal day. I was supposed to pick her from her home to a normal school of work, and from there I go to my own place of work. So I picked her up. I noticed this sound in my car. The engine wasn't okay. So I was like, baby, be like, say this car will stop. I said, Steve, if you stop, I go carry bike, I will go. She just used that word like, I looked at her like,
Really?
just to cut her story short, the car stopped. And the film happened immediately. And she took a bike and she
Are
left.
you being serious?
To cut her story short, she said she wasn't interested anymore.
Damn.
She gave me reasons why she couldn't. She told me, she said, Steve, I don't want you to be a teacher. I want you to go into the accounting firm, go to the banking industry and work. I said, no, this is what I want. I want to work in a place where I'll be happy to work. Said, I can't get married to a guy earning this amount of money.
Happy at work.
She eventually got a job.
Of Adam.
Yes.
No, I'm just saying all of this. I'm saying all of
She was
this.
being honest.
She was being honest to me, though. I felt bad that I know my life. I know something would happen. It might not be now, but I know that one day it will happen. She couldn't see it because she felt I wasn't making any sense. Everybody around me they were seeing me as if I wasn't making any sense. How would someone have an offer like this and go back to this amount?
To go to 5,000.
But the truth about it is, after everything, she left. I started hustling from that same school, from one school part-time to the next part-time to the next part-time. And I found out that at the end of the part-time for 1 year to 2 years, I was making 100K. But I wasn't cool with the 100K. Yeah. She kept on looking at my status. If this guy has changed. I'm saying all of this so you can understand that it happens to the male part. I felt a lot of shit happened to me in that aspect. So when I got to 100, I wasn't cool with that. So I said, I think it's time to move outside this Ikorodu. But the truth about it is if you work in Ikorodu, you basically might not earn over 100K to want something. So I sat down, I picked up my laptop, I started writing proposals to school. And one of the schools that picked my offer within this Ikorodu was Kingsmead. And the first offer was 800,000 once a week, coding and robotics. Wow. So that same week again, Corona, next in British, it was just coming like that. And I was like,
Oga,
what is happening?
You realize that
You're this something now.
No, I'm trying to say something. I'm heading to where
you just shifted the paradigm in the room now.
I told you that he's still dead.
So I get all those kind of scenarios that happen to me. And just the sudden day, she chatted me up and like, hello Steve, what's up? I said, I'm fine. I see you are doing well. Because this time, there's no more Steven working in secondary school. It's Steven with his guys working in a registered company.
Yes, sir.
And so she keeps on like, Steve, please, can you refer me? Like, I'm traveling to UK. Can you just refer me? Like, just say something about me that I worked in your tech company. I said, you have to pay money.
Bam.
You get what I'm trying to say? So she did something to me, which till now is still affecting me. Because I really can't date any lady any less than 100.
Thank you.
I'll give you reasons why I'm saying that. Because I feel she has helped me to fight my dreams. I like it that way. Are you getting this? So, but the thing is, I really can't date a lady any less than 100 because I feel those that earn more has actually paid some certain price to get to that level. I'm talking about legal money.
Yeah.
You really can't jump from 0 to 100. Sure. So I feel any lady that must have earned 100, 150, is that our brain is working. That's how I feel in this kind of country. So I weigh them. I don't need their money, though, but I just try to weigh them that way. That's my own opinion towards that. Yeah. So about my own relationship aspect. For now, I do not have anybody. But when a crisis...
Just advertise.
No, that's the phase one. Are you getting this? That's the phase one. The second phase was after making the money. Just as every young guy wants to invest, I took all my funds, close to $25,000, to crypto. And boom, crypto crashed from 70,000 down to where it is.
Okay, so now you have reshaped the paradigm again.
No, that's phase two.
The story is...
Okay.
I was dating a girl then. Because I was balling, I was spending, go there, flex. And when the money dropped, she left.
She to drop.
Is it the one at Ijebu?
So I was not like, what is all of this? What's happening? So it seems that anybody I'm going to meet henceforth, I just have to tell them I'm a teacher earning this amount.
25.
So probably when we get married, you can then eventually know
what you earn. But that is not going to be possible anymore. Because you're on this podcast. All right, so we'll delve deeper into this when we take the second show and all that. Because the second show focuses on why men need to out-earn their wives. All right, so
need the care.
They need to. He has just told you one. I has told you 2 stories.
I feel you.
There's no amount of theory you will tell him that will negate his lived experience.
Yeah, true.
There's no theory you are going to say. You wanted to.
Yes, I wanted to ask Oji a question. Before, when we were talking about women earning more than men, you made a statement. You were like, so a woman will now call it that she's coming late from work, you should cook for her.
No, leave the cooking, please.
No, let's address it. You said this. I just want to know, is that disrespectful to you?
No. That was just an idea. I don't want to, you understand? I don't want to shift the conversation.
No, it's question and answer segment now.
Oji is Odogu.
Because you said that she's coming late from work, you should please cook. Do you find that disrespectful?
I'm not saying I find it disrespectful. Can I answer the question?
Please answer.
Don't break your ego.
Okay. See, of course, she's on cooking normal, but at times, of course, you do it. What I'm saying is that if they are earning 50-50, it gets to a point, the woman feels that, there's all this feeling that you might feel you are different, but that's what is happening.
Yeah.
She can't say, I'm also doing this, why would this man be telling me all this? Like, I can't obey him again, I can't submit to him again. There's always this aggressiveness that comes in. Yeah, no matter how different you are. You get now at that point, she will start to things that she doesn't do before. She start doing it. Let's assume that normally she wakes up early and probably wear your suit for you. Or she knocks your time, just kind of job, do you understand? And she just really that, why would I do it after? Of course, we are footing the biz and all that. So, my point is that two sailors cannot
be in one ship.
Do you understand? So, but when women start doing 50-50, that stuff tends to come. It's just human thing. It's
so, what you're trying to say is that if you and your wife are doing 50-50, if you and your wife are doing 50-50,
me and my wife cannot do 50-50.
Okay, wait. Let's just put it for an instance. Okay, wait. Let's just instance. You and your wife are doing 50-50, and she now calls that, baby, I'll be coming late from work or cook or you won't do it.
I said you want to create another.
Can I just chip in something?
But the truth is, I do not like the fact that a man should have 50-50 with his wife. I feel you're a man, you should take full responsibility.
No, sure, you're right. You see, recently we had the Women's Day, and what was the theme of International Women's Day? Equity, right? Embracing equity, if I'm not mistaken, right?
You see, women on that day.
So what I'm trying to say is, as much as women want to embrace equity, majority of them want equality, not just equity.
Okay.
They are aiming for equity, but that's actually not what they want. They want to be equal. They want to be like, okay, I can rub shoulders with this man. But one thing that you need to understand is that a man respects a woman who respects him. That's what women want. We just want respect. See,
don't love me, just
respect me. I'm serious. Actually, see,
I'm serious.
Love would always fail. See, love cannot sustain a marriage.
Of course,
only love would never sustain a marriage.
Of
Things
course.
that sustain a marriage are things like what? Respect. If respect is never lost, trust me, you'll forever be with that man. Why do you think our parents, most of our parents, we are surprised how some of them are celebrating 50 years anniversary. But these days now, hardly would you even see 10. Most of the marriages that happened in the past 10 years, tell me how many of them are not having 1 or 2 issues that they feel they want to end the marriage for. And we're having parents that have stayed 50 years. What kept them going? It was respect. How many times have you seen your mom brawling with your dad? Yeah. They rarely do that. Trust me, even though you have parents, it's very few. I'm telling you that I came from a home where I always notice the tension. Whenever there's tension, I know how they handle it. Wisdom demands that they both go inside and they trash it out. I've been with them for decades now, and I can tell you I've never one day seen them fight. I'm not assuming for all. But I'm telling you that equity, if I have a wife now, and one thing I just want from her is respect. If I see that my wife respects me so much, there's no harm in her telling me that, babe, sorry, I'll be coming late from work today. You can probably just, cook something or something. She's not going to be respectful.
That doesn't mean that she's not respecting you.
My question to
some ladies aren't. That's one thing she knows. Some ladies, the way they go about it is wrong.
Guys. All right, so does anybody, before your question back to her, does anybody have any question for any other person else? Tomewa? Do you have any questions for anyone?
Yes, I have a question.
Okay.
Okay, so my question is that pertaining to her, how can you handle a situation whereby, like, should the question you told her to ask, will it not be a threatening to the guy? Do you get my question?
Will you not threaten
We
the
don't
guy?
scare him away.
Yes, exactly. Like, if won't it affect the relationship?
Okay.
Okay.
I get your question.
No, I'm not referring
it's
to
just
you.
like an open.
Yes,
Open-ended
exactly.
question.
Yes.
If the guy,
Do you have, does anybody want to answer? I have an answer, but
like, what's the complete question? I don't get the complete question.
Like the question, like if I should throw the question to the guy that
When are we getting?
when are we
okay,
going
when
to,
are we getting
Are we
married?
going to get
Okay, so
married?
rephrase this question now. If I should ask the guy I'm dating that, when are we getting married? I want you to rephrase the question.
Okay, if
Start
I
with-
should ask a guy I'm dating that when are we getting married?
Okay, wait.
Okay.
All right. So I want you to start all over again.
If I'm to ask my guy, when are we getting married? Will the question not look like a threatening on him? And even if I will ask the question, is there a way I can phrase the question that he will not take it as an offense, or it won't look as if I'm pressuring him?
I think it's the
Okay,
guy.
so you wanted to respond to it.
I think it's the guys that should answer the question.
Wait, you have 2 minutes. So let's have your answer to her in 2 minutes, and then the guys will jump in.
I just feel it depends on the relationship. For me, instance, if I ask my guy that when are we getting married, I don't expect him to get angry because at the stage I am, I'm no longer dating for fun. But someone in his 21 and 22, that kind of age group, is probably not ready to settle down. If you ask him, when are we getting married? The look he will give you first is like, why? What happened?
Why
Am
are
I
you
even
rushing?
done with schooling? Do you understand?
Yes.
But for someone like me, I'm in my 26. I'm done with schooling and all. What else? I have my career and already. So if I ask my guy that when are we getting married, I'll get a positive response from him.
Positive? No, it depends on the guy now.
Yeah, that's it. For someone like me,
It's a
I can't be
reasonable
with
time
a
to
guy
ask.
that is not ready to settle down too.
Okay.
We are both ready to settle. We are now dating for marriage. We are not dating for just, I want to have a boyfriend, I want to have. We are both dating to marry.
Okay, so I'm asking now that if I'm to put the question down, how will I put it
You
down?
can just be like, babe, when do you see yourself getting married? Just like you said. Like, babe, when do you see yourself getting married? If you ever want to get married, like, what's the age bracket that you want to get married?
I think he wants to do for you. Maybe I should allow him to do first.
I feel every responsible guy that you're dating, except you're dating a baby. Also, if you're dating someone matured, you should have a time range for everything, time to settle down. So if you ask him and he gets angry about it, just feel your relationship is going nowhere. That's the truth. At first self, to me, any relationship you find yourself and it's not positive, it's not going to lead to something. Don't just go into it. That's what I feel about it.
I think you asked the question because of her, right?
Yes.
Now she's in 200. The guy is probably in school. What's your question? What are you feel? How you frame the question? You are pressuring him. If you like sugar coat.
Yeah.
What your question will do? Just help him exit fast.
Exactly.
There's no way you now okay. You have a career for you. This is going to marry. But in our own case,
That's what I
the
said.
guy of course will tell you that 2 years, 3 years. I'm a guy. I'm talking from a guy's perspective. You just let
Yes,
him.
we'll play along.
You just
play along, yeah.
what you do is that you help him. You help yourself. You just find a way to exit fast. Of course, he won't tell you because you don't need to get married. But you can just stay going for like 3 months, then something. Of course, he will be hiring somebody else behind your back. Let me use that word. You'll be doing something so when it gets to a point, you just exit. So that because the guy won't want to keep you for long. Okay,
All right. Maybe we'll take that in the second show. Yeah.
Like they always say, ladies are moved by what they hear, guys are moved by what they see.
Yeah.
Right? In order not for this guy to lie to you because you just want to hear me say, I'll get married to you in a couple of 6 months. Mm-hmm. And I can tell you that just keep getting in between your legs for 6 months. And at the end of 6 months, I tell you I've developed cold feet and I move away. Right? You can't beat me. You won't do anything. There's basically nothing. So in order not for us to lie to you, trust me, whenever you see a guy that you know is ready, you would know.
Okay,
it's something you would always know.
Of course, I said something last week. We are both dating. I'm in 300, you are in 200. We are both dating. I stay in the old state. Probably I still go with my mom, I still collect food money. And ask me, what I'm getting married. No matter what I tell you, if I
want to lead you on.
If I tell you 2 years, will you be, if you're the right person, will you believe?
Really is true.
So, and I don't want to make you a lot of the rings, I engage you, and at the end of the day, and a lot of guys engage ladies still with the intent of not getting married to them. A lot of people do it. We've heard stories like that.
People are even doing
So, in order for you not to put yourself in that scenario where you have to be in the bondage of a ring. And the guy keeps, having his way with you, you keep falling deeper in love, and at the end of the day, he broke my heart. You should have seen it coming.
That's what you said. You should date somebody that is working.
Somebody that is ready to get married, and you would, from conversations, you will know.
Let's take Rita, and then after Rita.
Honestly, I don't think this thing is black and white. I attended Federal University of Technology, Mina, and in 2010 I was doing my diploma, but there was a wedding I attended in Kaduna. The guy and the girl, the guy was in mechanical, the girl was in electrical. Both of them started 100 level together.
And they got married in 100 level?
Yes. No, they didn't get married in 100 level. They finished, and my school is 5 years, it's a 5-year course. They finished, they did service together. They had like few years after, and they got married. So I don't think this thing is black and white. The fact that it's very rampant that you cannot see people that meet in school are married, it doesn't mean it doesn't happen. So now I'm going to be direct. In her own case, all of us here were trying to analyze everything, but we don't know the guy personally. She knows the person, and she knows the person, and she knows why she went for the person. So you should know the time when you can actually have that kind of conversation with him, so that you wouldn't waste your time and you wouldn't waste his time. So it's something that rarely happens, but it happens, that people meet and they have all these plenty issues. They sit down, they talk about it, they settle it because I like you, you like me, we want to have a future together. So it's not like it's something that is impossible. It's not like it doesn't happen. It does. But then you have to know the person you're with, and you have to be sure that you are not settling for this person. You are actually picking this person because you want this person. So you wake up every day and you're like, okay, come with me, I'm choosing this person. And I know that this person is going to choose me. Like I said, it's not black and white. It's not.
Okay.
So I have something to say.
I have something to say in reaction to that.
So this is it. Udi will give the last reaction, and then I'll summarize so that we can get into the next show.
Okay, what I want to say is that it's a thing of probability. The chances that if you meet a man that is working, he has finished school and is working, the chances of him marrying you is higher compared to the chance of you meeting a student or dating a student, and him graduating and marrying you in the long run. So you see, and it's sometimes it's not about the person might have intention of marrying you and all that. The guy as a student might have intention, but circumstance,
Life just happens.
life seems that it can't control the economy, can't control it. COVID happened and a lot of people lost their job. It can't control that. So you can see that can actually, but if you are dating someone that's working already, he has like his life or perhaps to some extent set up already, then the chance of that person being with you for a very long time, if you ask him that question, is higher. Because somebody can lie to you. To lie is easy. You can tell me that, and if I want to lie for you, I will give you a very perfect life trajectory, and you think that this person is serious.
All right.
I believe
So
the best way to ask that kind of question, if at all you want to ask, is don't be too serious when you're asking, because it's from play, like Yoruba will say, "Inwere latimo toro." Like, don't say, sit down here, I want to talk to you about something. Guys don't really like things like that. Just ask, like, maybe you can be seeing a movie and say, when do you think you want to get married? By that, he will not really believe or know you are trying to be direct with him. So from there, you will know the truth from him. Yeah. But when you sit him down and say, now we need to talk, when do we, he will not really be comfortable, and you won't get the best from him.
all right. So let me just jump right in. So I'll give you my response. Okay. The response I will give you is based on a study that was done of men who had gotten married. All right. So I'll give you that response, and then we'll take it from there. We're talking about data. My response is closer to what Udi says. All right. So so a couple of things. The first thing I will tell you is this, with regards to, I will tell you to be direct. In fact, I will tell you contrary to what she just said. be direct, because men do not pick up subtle hints. All right? I know you feel men don't pick up subtle hints. All right? So be extremely direct. But before you ask that question, there are things you need to be able to tell. Okay? And I'll use an illustration. If you want to buy some particular kind of cars, I think if you want to buy Ferraris and Lamborghinis, one of the requirements is that you must send your bank balance to the car company. The car company wants to gauge, to assess whether you can afford to buy their car. All right. If you can't afford to buy, they don't sell to you. Right. It's limited. So there are evidence that you can look out for. A few of the things is what the gentleman at the back have mentioned. Ideally, you want the guy who is going to be working for a reason. There has to be a source of income in the family, because children are the fruit of marriage and it costs money to raise children. If you get married and you have kids, you can't keep your kids under a bridge. The kids have to grow up somewhere. All right. They need a roof over their head. They need health care when they fall ill. All right. And those things cost money. And so somebody needs to be the primary breadwinner. So now, if you are not the one, if you're not ready to work, or if you're not working, the person you are dating should be able to cover the costs. In the story you gave, they probably if I have seen people who got married in their 100 level, the Hausas and the Fulanis, some of the elite families in Hausa and Fulani, they get married extremely early, 21, 22. But if you look at it, it's not the men and women getting married, it's their families, and they will support them until they come of age. If you are marrying that kind of a man, you probably would know this man has support. The question is does this person have support behind him that can keep a family going? So if the person doesn't have support behind him, how long will it take him? Some people will tell you on average you take like a year to save up for the wedding, a year to save up for the apartment, a year to save up for the first child. People will tell you that. So that's 3 years. So if you meet a guy right now and he tells you that he just started working last month, on average, if he doesn't have savings or whatever, it probably is going to take him 3 years. It doesn't mean that it may not take him a year, but you need to see evidence, because when those bills come, those bills are not going to ask you how you feel. When you go to the hospital, the doctor is not going to ask you that how do you feel, okay, about paying these bills. Neither would the teachers in the children's school ask how do you feel. You understand me? So you need objective evidence. Can this person support a family? For men. All right. So that's the first question. So if the guy cannot support a family, don't waste your time with him. There's one thing which you are not considering, and I'll tell you there's something called the opportunity cost of people in your lives. We don't consider that. The opportunity cost of people who have access to you. All right. Because you are rolling with a particular guy. What it means is that if you now meet another man who is now ready to get into a marital relationship and start a family, because you are with this dude, you will say no to that guy. And by the time you finally wake up that I want that old guy may be gone. We've seen several relationships. Yes. Okoya, I think was in 1998 or 1999, Chief Razak Okoya married his wife. She was 21 years old. Right? The guy at that time was a billionaire, I think, in Naira at that time. So if you have, at age 21, to choose between a billionaire, fine, the guy was in his, I think, late 60s or so, and the guy in your class, you have to weigh it. Okay? If you're going to go for the older, wealthier man, well, if you're going to go for people who are abusing Regina Daniels and all that she married Ned or whatever. He's a senator now. Yeah. Regina left, she was dating one guy like that also. Yeah. She left that guy, all right, and went for Ned. I do not judge her life choices. However, if Regina comes to my hospital and it's time for her to deliver, for instance, a baby, I will not be telling her that, how do you feel about your ex? I expect that you would have the bills covered. Do you understand me? So I am looking at the outcome of the family and the children. Do you understand me? So why should you have the conversation? You should have the conversation because there are other people who may be interested, who are ready to get married within the next 1 to 2 years. And if you keep hanging on with a guy who is not ready, those people who are ready to get married, you will lose them. And it doesn't get easier for women. Once women clock 30 and upwards, usually it becomes harder. Right now, as you're talking, as you've walked in here, I'll tell you this, and I'm being objective. It's obvious you are young and you have the attractiveness and beauty of youth. All right? All the young men probably will see that, but it fades. Once you get into your mid-30s, that look fades. You understand me? So right now is the best time for you to be on the lookout for the best deal. And take it from me. It doesn't mean you're a gold digger. You understand me?
Yes. Yep.
So you have so to summarize, so that we got a couple of things based on data from men who got married. This is a couple of things I would ask you to keep at the back of your mind. If you are with a man and you want to know whether this will lead to marriage, the first question, the man who discusses marriage is likely to propose. So if you are with that guy in the past 1 year, the guy has not discussed marriage, it's very, very unlikely that it's on his mind. The second, all right, if you want to discuss marriage, you have to bring the subject up, because men obviously will not bring it up. Okay? As you two are hoping that you're angry, you don't want to offend him. The guy is angry with you. He knows that if you say no, there's always a younger version. He really is not losing the way you are.
Yes.
So the third issue, 73% of marrying women will say that they put pressure on their men to propose. So most women are the ones who will ask the men, what are we? Most men don't really ask that question.
Mm-hmm. Well,
okay?
We're humans.
All right. Okay. If a woman is convinced that marriage is important to her happiness, there's a high likelihood that she'll get married. And so it means that you get what that phrase means. So if you are convinced that marriage is important to your happiness, okay? Then, when a man has been dating a woman for months, he hasn't thought of marriage. If a man dates a woman for months, most of the time he's not thinking of marriage. He's thinking of several other things. But the last thing he's thinking of is marriage. So ideally, the best time for you to ask a guy, when are we getting married, is after you've gone out for like 6-7 dates. So if the guy has gone out with you, or if you've gone to his house, or if he has come to visit you and he has done it 6-7 times, you should ask the guy. If you offend the guy, if the guy is offended and tells you he's not ready, then you tell him, if you are not ready to buy the market, all right, you can step aside so that other people who are ready to buy can come. And the guy will understand.
We understand men.
Right? Do you understand me? So on the basis of that, that's my own. But you have to be intentional, you have to be focused, you have to tell men about it. I'm not discussing this from a point of view. Again, I will say, I am not a pastor, I am not a dating coach, I am not a relationship counselor. I just happen to be a public health physician, and I see the consequences of people wasting time. Every single year that you're with a guy you're not getting married to, there are 12,000 eggs that could have become children. Not 12,000, but there are 12,000 eggs. And of those 12,000, there are 12 eggs that could have become children that you have not used. And those eggs, the value of those eggs is in your late 40s, in your late 30s. People pay millions to turn those eggs into children. Do you understand me? So the question is this: if the person is spending your time, you should ask yourself, is this person worth spending the peak of my reproductive years with? If your answer to that question is no, then you know what to do. So on the basis of that, thank you very much for being a part of this show.
Thank you, sir, for having us. All right.